generations to come.
And you can learn more about Highwood Cemetery by calling 412-766-6600.
Wednesday night at 10, join us for I'm Listening, a special Odyssey program featuring some of the biggest names in news, sports, and music, and some of the most respected mental health professionals. Hosted by Carson Daly with Katie Neal. Talk saves lives. For more information, visit imlistening.org.
Brought to you by the Prasad Center, advancing the mental health needs of the region with pride and promise for over 50 years.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning?
RV wins!
Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast?
RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
All right, I think I see David Bollerado out there. That's my guy. KDKA Radio News Desk. Look ahead what's happening at 5 with Rhymes with Colorado, Bollerado.
Hey, Colin, of course, the big story today is that massive apartment fire in Squirrel Hill and its aftermath. We'll all the latest details coming up at 5 right here on News Radio KDKA.
It's Colin Dunlap on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Here we are, 866-391-1020. 866-391-1020. I'm looking up at Mary Hours right now, one of the nicest people in the history of the world. And she has an extended forecast up there. It's going to be like San Diego weather, except in the morning, cooler than San Diego, for like the next 10 days. What a stretch of weather. I'm sure some people complain about it being too dry, but it is what it is. Talk about golf weather. Like, if you had an offer, if you were retired, if you're Jim Colony or some retired person right now, and you had golf in front of you, my gosh. Jack in Mount Lebanon. Hey, Jack, you ever had to deal with a fire?
No, sir.
Scary. That scares the heck out of me.
That's on my TV. Yeah, I've been signed off the TV, but that thing was devastating.
Oh, it was. It was just incredible. I'm going to talk to my guy from Service Master coming up at 5. Not about that building because that building's done for, but what some of these older buildings in and around Pittsburgh, places like Squirrel Hill, Oakland, Shadyside, The Hill, what can be done to salvage them even if they have a small fire. Anyway, how about this? I saw the smoke from the Fort Pitt Bridge when I was coming into work today.
I believe you could. They're showing it on TV, and it's everywhere, the smoke.
I mean, it was billowing. It was just all over the place. And it was like this haze that was rising over when you looked out towards the east, right down the parkway. So what'd you do today? Anything exciting?
Went to Panera's, tried to figure out how to save the world with my brother.
Uh-huh. Did you succeed or no? You failed again?
No, we failed.
Okay.
Well, there was other people there, but we failed.
Certainly.
And then I came home, stocked the fridge, and opened one.
Oh, there you go. By the way, are they still keeping that same price for you for that beer? They haven't raised beer on you, have they?
No, They put it on sale every once in a while. I got my neighbor one, and I did go get beer today, too. I'm sorry.
Oh, you did? Did they load it up in the trunk for you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Are you still buying those 18-packs or case?
30 packs.
Oh, 30. That's right. 30. You're right. 30 packs. They stack really nice, even though they're heavy. I don't drink anymore, but I remember from my drinking days, the 30 packs stack the most because they're the widest on the bottom.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. What do you do with the boxes? You break them down?
Yeah, I cut them up and throw them in a dumpster, and my apartment building here.
Yeah, what do you do with all the empties?
Oh, I have a can crusher.
Oh, you do. You remember those jokers that used to go around and collect all the cans, take them to the scrapyard, turn in like 39 pounds of cans, and they'd give them like $1.10?
I could do that, but I'm not going to scrapyard and spend $3 on gas to get the $2 back.
Prophet, always. Oh, he's a prophet. Just listen to his sage words. That's all you need to listen to. He's the smartest guy in the station. Jack in Mount Lebanon. Top of the hour, John Samick. You know who he is? He owns Service Master Greater Pittsburgh. When disaster strikes, demand the yellow van, that's for sure. But what about some of these older buildings in and around Pittsburgh? What if there's even a small fire? What can be done? I'm going to talk to him about all of that. Let's hit traffic now. Here we go. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. Margot.
All right, Colin, still getting a report for an accident on 28 outbound at exit 3 towards Millville. That has backed up the route all the way to the Sarah Hines house heading towards the 40th Street Bridge. The Parkway West outbound is bumper to bumper from Technology Drive, meeting traffic from the Parkway East outbound heading towards the Squirrel Hill Tunnel and going into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West inbound. It is slow moving from the middle of Green Tree Hill. With AAA traffic, I'm Margot Rensel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
This report brought to you by Staples.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Tired of looking at your ugly, old, slippery bathtub? You don't have to any longer. Call PJ Fitzpatrick. The jacuzzi shower system from PJ Fitzpatrick features a low entry threshold with tons of design options. The jacuzzi shower is luxurious, affordable, and it installs in just one day. Plus, PJ will include a free shower seat and safety bars for all customers this month. Visit trustpj.com today for your free design consultation. That's trustpj.com.
Friday nights in Western Pennsylvania mean one thing: high school football. This is Greg Diulis of Diulis Law. Calling the right play can change the outcome of a game. Calling the right lawyer can change your life. Whether you need help with family law, criminal matters, or probate and estate planning, call me at 412-736-9638. Diulis Law, one of Pittsburgh's winning teams for over 30 years. 412-736-9638.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Have you been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer? You may qualify for a clinical trial studying an investigational therapy designed to activate your immune system to fight cancer throughout the body. If your prostate cancer has spread and you've received prior hormone therapy, you may be eligible. Take the next step in your fight. Visit Legion100trial.com to learn more or call 1-888-636-5344. That's Legion100trial.com or 1-888-636-5344.
Join the National Kidney Foundation at Highmark Stadium in Station Square on Sunday, September 28th from 8 a.m. to noon for the annual Kidney Walk.
Why walk? Kidney disease is the 8th leading cause of death in the United States. 12 people die every day while on a waiting list for a kidney transplant. 1 in 3 people are at risk for kidney disease.
Every step you take helps fight kidney disease. Register your team today at kidneywalk.org/Pittsburgh.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 76 degrees at 5 o'clock. I'm David Ballarado. A massive fire ripped through an apartment building today in Squirrel Hill, displacing several residents. News Radio KDKA's Tamira Rush has details.
The fire that raged for hours at the Jefferson apartment building in Pittsburgh's Squirrel Hill neighborhood has finally been brought under control. One wheelchair-bound resident who needed the assistance of several firefighters tells KDKA Radio her cat Jelly is unaccounted for.
The material stuff you can replace with my little kitty. She's only 7 pounds. She has to be scared to death. You can replace the material things, but not the people.
The fire started on the 3rd floor of the building and continued to burn through the roof, causing it to collapse. All residents were accounted for and no injuries were reported. The Salvation Army and Red Cross are assisting displaced residents. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
Plans have been unveiled for an expansion at the intermediate school building in the Seneca Valley School District. John Pappas of Eccles Construction Services says the $165 million project, to be done in phases, would connect a portion of its current academic area to the neighboring senior high school through a new 3-story addition.
That'll be done as kind of the first phase of the project. Then a portion of the classroom area of the existing intermediate high school will be raised and allow for a new performing arts center to be included, which will also connect back into the existing high school.
Pappas says the project will go out to bid in the next month or so. Work could start on phase 1 by next February or March, with the final project being completed by summer of 2030. Scathing testimony on Capitol Hill from Meta whistleblowers saying the massive company suppressed child safety research. CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes reports that some senators say the Kids Online Safety Act needs to be passed.
Former Meta researcher Jason Sadazan told a wrapped room full of lawmakers and parents whose children died after harm on social media platforms.
It is evident that Meta consistently chooses profit over safety.
Former Meta researcher Casey Savage discussed the abuse of dangers children and others can face using virtual reality headsets.
There are other users with bodies that can corner you, that can surround you, that can touch you.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The Justice Department has charged a suspect with a fatal stabbing of a Ukrainian refugee last month on a train in Charlotte, North Carolina. The suspect is charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of Irina Zarutska, as well as a federal charge of causing death on a mass transportation system. Charlotte resident Larissa Oberhauser.
I'm definitely questioning a bit. Even now walking, I feel just eerie a bit.
On Wall Street today, the Dow gained 196 points. The Nasdaq also higher, adding on 81 points, and the S&P 500 also closed higher, gaining 17 points today. KDKA Sports brought to you by NASCO Roofing, Pittsburgh's trusted and passionate roofer. Call NASCO Roofing at 412-373-2000. The Steelers have signed veteran safety Jabril Peppers as Deshaun Elliott recovers from a knee injury, and the Bucs visit Baltimore. First pitch at 6:35. Mike Burrows on the mound for the Pirates. Right now, around the Pittsburgh area, we have mostly sunny skies and it's 76 degrees. KDKA AAA traffic and the AccuWeather forecast next.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
As an athlete, I'm all about performance and my overall health. I've wanted to improve my smile for a while,
but I thought braces was the only option. A friend of mine mentioned she was improving her smile with Invisalign, so I checked out with my local orthodontist and found out that Invisalign could work for me as well. After a quick scan, my orthodontist created my Invisalign plan, and I couldn't be more excited to start. Check out Invisalign.com to find a doctor in your neighborhood. It's great that there are trained Invisalign doctors in our own community here. Invisalign.com.
Summer storms can spell disaster for your roof and more. At Home Genius Exteriors, we stop the damage before it starts. Call now during our summer savings event and get 50% off materials for your new roof. Plus, get no interest and no payments till 2027. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855-UR-GENIUS to schedule your free roof and attic inspection. That's 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing. See website for details.
All right, here we are. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic. It's all powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. Margo, I heard 28's a mess.
28 is a mess because of an earlier accident right at the exit towards Millvale, exit 3, and that has backed up the route all the way to the Sarah Hines house towards the 40th Street Bridge. It is bumper to bumper. On the Parkway West outbound, it is brake leads from Technology Drive heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Heading into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel on the Parkway East outbound, it is also slow moving from Technology Drive. And an earlier accident on 279 northbound has backed up the route towards 79 northbound as well because of the accident being at the split. With AAA Traffic, I'm Margo Rensel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly sunny for the rest of this afternoon. Very pleasant, a high of 75. It'll be mainly clear and cool again tonight, low 49 with some areas of fog late. Mostly sunny tomorrow and a high of 76. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Fire doesn't wait, and neither should you. When disaster strikes, call Service Master of Greater Pittsburgh. Fire damage? Demand the yellow van.
Demand the yellow van. Call Service Master.
The Drive at 5. The stories driving today's headlines. Brought to you by Service Master of Greater Pittsburgh. When disaster strikes, demand the yellow van. On 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, you hear me say it about 13,216 times a show. You hear the voice guy say it about half that. Demand the yellow van. Service Master of Greater Pittsburgh, and I say it for a reason. Because it's a wonderful service, wonderful company. Let me welcome in the owner of Service Master of Greater Pittsburgh, John Samick, right now, because I want to talk to him. Hi, John. How are you?
Good afternoon, Colin.
Okay, big fire in Squirrel Hill. The building collapsed. It's not salvageable, or so it seems, but it got me thinking today, and it's why I wanted to talk to you, and a lot of people are talking about this. There are so many old structures in, whether it's Squirrel Hill, Shadyside, Oakland, the Hill District, places like that. If there is just a fire that has a nominal amount of damage, John, can they be salvaged in this area, or how does that generally work?
Well, they definitely can be salvaged. The older homes have the older prime type of lumber that constructed them. You're going to see true 2x4s. You're going to see true 2x12s. So the construction is hardy. However, you know, in this kind of situation with this building here, the tremendous amount of heat and the fire damage, they had a lot of things going on there where they had chimney type of effects where the fire was just raging through that building. And so it was definitely a total loss. But we do a lot of projects where the interior is gutted, maybe some of the components are saved. But traditionally, the housing stock in most of all of Squirrel Hill, where this fire happened, is very hardy and is definitely restorable.
So what would not necessarily in this... Okay, well, no, I will ask you in this case. What's the next step in this case? Is it a total demolition then?
In this case, I'm certain they're going to do that, and way sooner than later, because that building is 4 stories right on the street, right on the sidewalk, and it already had some collapsing. And a building has to have some integrity where the roof kind of holds the walls together, the walls hold the roof up, and that roof is gone. And so I think for safety's sake, they're going to knock that building down pretty quickly as soon as they do their investigation.
John Samick, the owner of Service Master Greater Pittsburgh, wonderful company, wonderful guy. Do you have to eyeball it? Do you have to talk to the fire marshal? How do you determine if something can be saved or if something's done for good?
Well, the fire marshal is there to determine what's the cause of the fire, not so much is it restorable. But when we get involved with a serious loss, we're bringing in engineers and to determine what needs to be done to safely rebuild this property. A lot of times, old grandfathered building codes are outdated and they need to be revised. But we rely on degreed experts to tell us what needs to be done. But on the flip side there, we've been in business since 1981, so issues of how much char or how much smoke is too much, we're pretty much able to tell that.
Is there generally, and I liken it to a car, when you wreck a car, John, and people say, well, total it out or fix it or whatever, is there a threshold with buildings the same way where sometimes it's cheaper just to knock it all down and build a new one than try to fix the existing structure?
Well, there certainly is, depending upon, what the end result is. Most residential homeowners insurance has replacement cost insurance. So even though it might seem that it's costly to restore, the replacement cost insurance kicks in and will cover most of that. There are some older policies that have a fixed amount, and then you have to decide: is the value of an older property, the charm of some of the older properties, is it worth it? But I think there does come a time when you decide, can we knock it down and build something else? That's a decision that could be made.
I had an arson investigator and I had 2 city firemen today reach out to me and say, if you say one thing, or 2 things in this microphone today, it's this. 1, of course, smoke detectors. But 2, make sure to tell renters to get renter's insurance. I would guess you would echo those same things.
I actually had that written down here, that renter's insurance is a very inexpensive insurance for the value that it brings. Not only does it cover the replacement of your content, your electronics, your clothing, it also provides for housing for you while you're looking for a new place. But this is the other thing, is that if you are the one who caused that loss, okay, where they might come back to you as the renter who, left the candle burning or something like that, your homeowner's insurance does some help for you in defending you in that case.
Do you find, John, that a surprising number of people don't have renter's insurance?
Yes, for sure, because it's, renters is the first step of getting into a housing situation. A lot of times people are stretching their resources to become renters, and, one more payment is one too many. But just like life insurance or health insurance, when you need it, you need it. When you don't need it, you hate paying for it. But it is something that I would recommend. If I were renting property or renting apartments, I would require that they have renter's insurance.
Wow, those are strong words. They really are. Last thing for you, John Samick, he's the owner of Service Master Greater Pittsburgh. It feels to me, in just kind of looking at this situation, talking to Tamira, who went out there and reported on it, and just reading up on some things, there is a great difference in, because of years things were built, different codes, and they've really changed over the years and in short order, sometimes just over a 10 or 15-year span. Do you find that as well?
Well, they do continue to change the building codes, and it's not every year. It's maybe, it's not even every 10 years sometimes. And they make it so that the properties can be safe. New building materials, outdated wiring. I mean, they're not allowed to have aluminum wiring at one time, and there's a lot of knob and tube wiring out there, which is still okay, but it is not really as safe as the more conventional wiring that is in homes. So, code upgrades are meant to make you safer, and as such, many insurance policies have built-in home code upgrades in their policy, which will cover those improvements.
I look at that devastation, and I just thank goodness that no one was killed. You see how many people lived in that building, how big that fire was, John. I thought
that is certainly the amazing storyline, is that all the people got out, all the people that were fighting that fire. Typically, somebody trips and falls or sprains an ankle or whatever, something happens. The miracle there was that everybody came home.
John, you're a good man. We'll talk again soon. I appreciate it as always, and thanks for all you do.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All righty. John Samick, the owner, Service Master, Greater Pittsburgh. You heard it there. That's like the fourth person that's reached out to me today or that I've talked to. They said two things. One, smoke detectors. Everybody knows that. But if you're renting, renter's insurance is a must. And they've driven that home. On my text, firefighters were sending that to me that were just off the scene, and an arson investigator, same thing. And then John from Service Master right there. So be sure to get it if you can. 866-391-1020. That's the number. Traffic now. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser, Genesis of Monroeville. Margo.
All right, Colin, seeing some bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Parkway West outbound from Technology Drive heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West inbound, it is slow-moving from Green Tree Hill. Going into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel on the Parkway East outbound, it is bumper-to-bumper from the bend at Bates. And 28 outbound has started to clear up, but still seeing just a bit of congestion from the Sarah Hines house heading up towards the 31st Street Bridge. On 279 or the Parkway North outbound, it is slow-moving right as you approach the 79 split. With AAA Traffic, I'm Margo Renzel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Listen to Colin Dunlap on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The original Yinzer Dogs are here for your next tailgate. Yinzer Dogs, Stanley P. Kachowski Kielbasi, Babushka Mama Pierogies, and Yinzer Halushki are all available at your favorite Giant Eagle and Market District. Plus, stay tuned for our grand opening of our new original Yinzer Dogs location in Cranberry. And pretty soon, down the Strip District. It's pure Pittsburgh. Join Dan Marino, Jimmy Crenn, and me, and our Yinzer team. Check us out at OriginalYinzerDogs.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Here we are, KDKA Radio News Desk. A look ahead what's happening at 5:30. David, Colorado.
Helen, police and the FBI are investigating letters sent to some local synagogues. We'll have more coming up at 5:30 on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Chicken is more popular than ever, but last year U.S. turkey consumption fell to a 3-decade low, and because of that, Purdue Farms is laying off nearly 300 workers at a turkey plant in Indiana in October, just a month ahead of Thanksgiving. On Wall Street today, record closing highs for all the major averages on expectations that the Fed will lower interest rates when it meets next week for the first time this year. Now, that's after a massive preliminary revision from Labor Department officials, an overcount of 911,000 jobs in the year leading up to this past March. A massive miscalculation. But the Dow today up 196, the Nasdaq up 81, the S&P up 17. Microsoft telling most workers in the Seattle area who live within 50 miles of headquarters they have to be in the office 3 days a week. And a lot of older Americans now say they're not going anywhere. 6 in 10 baby boomers tell the real estate site Clever Offers they never plan to sell their homes. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Reacting to the stories you're talking about. Colin Dunlap, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
My favorite are the people on social media. Stick to sports. Where you been the last 2 years? Seriously, where you been the last 2 years? Not just hit delete, comment, is what it is. All right, 866-391-1020. Speaking of sports, we'll hear from Mike Tomlin before we get out of here today. What he had to say at his news gathering. Sure, that was festive and fun. Also, are you prepared for a fire? I want to get back into that just a little bit before we get out of here. Is this more fear of missing out and or kind of tinged with keeping up with the Joneses than it is practically needing this? I don't know. I ask myself every time there's a new one of these.
Apple may not be the leading AI company in terms of software, but it wants you to think of its iPhones and Apple Watches and other devices as being some of the best to power AI functions, including technologies like live voice translation and photo editing.
Okay.
Apple stopped short of pushing its competition in artificial intelligence, instead focusing on how its devices are better suited to provide you with those experiences rather than someone else's.
Thank you much. And the man you heard there was Ian Scherr, CBS News tech analyst. He's probably very smart. There's no probably about it. He's very smart. So when Apple comes out with a new phone, an iPhone, if you're an iPhone user, which I am, I think I have the iPhone like 6 or something. What are they on now, Margot? 17? Is that the one that's coming out now? Something like that?
Yeah, 17.
17, right? I think I got iPhone 8.
No, you don't. You have like an iPhone 12.
Okay, 12. I have found if you found the one that you like and you know how to use it and you are comfortable with it, buying the next one largely is keeping up with the Joneses or fear of missing out. And it's just I don't want to say a ploy, but the one that you have is good enough. And people buying these new ones, they don't offer you all that much where you have to have it. There is a whole lot of peer pressure involved. Would you agree to that or not, Margot?
Yeah, I would. And also, wasn't there a lawsuit that Apple faced a couple years ago that they would make their old phones stop working when they would release a new phone?
Oh, they would do that? Well, one thing I don't like with mine is you can't charge it and listen to music at the same time.
Yeah.
Unless you have, and I'm an Aaron Rodgers cultist. I don't like wireless earphones. I like to have the wired earphones.
I get that.
They have like a little buzz and tinge in my ear. The ones that are wireless, I just don't like them.
And now the newest iPhone has a whole different charger.
That's the thing. That is one thing too that gets me.
Yeah.
Every time they come out with a new iPhone, the old chargers pretty much don't work.
Yeah, then you have to buy a whole new set of more tech.
Hardware. Right?
Yeah, that goes with it.
So I found the one I like.
Yeah.
It's good enough. I talk myself into every time when there's like a moment of making a choice like now, I talk myself into saying, I'm not fancy enough to need that new one anyway. I sound like an old man, but because I am. I'm not fancy enough to need that new one. Everything I can do, this is good enough. It has 4K photos or whatever, panoramic, this, that, the other thing. I go on like 5 apps. Why do I need to spend? And they have this huge number, but then they tell you, we'll just roll it into your bill, and it's only like $18 extra a month, and you pay for like 100 months.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. But they got enough people that need to have it because they have to have the latest technology. All right. Is your house, are you prepared for a fire? I want to talk about that coming up next, because when you really think about it, I wonder if you are. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. Margo.
All right, Colin, seeing some slow-moving traffic on the Parkway West inbound from Carnegie heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West outbound, it is bumper to bumper from Technology Drive. Heading into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel on the Parkway East outbound, it is brake lights also from Technology Drive, and 28 outbound is seeing some congestion from the Sarah Hines house heading up towards the 40th Street Bridge, but the accident has since been cleared from earlier, so that is just traffic from earlier backing up that route. With AAA Traffic, I'm Margot Rensel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
At LaFace & McGovern, they're proud to be Pittsburgh's trusted partner in lighting, controls, services, and power solutions. For 48 years, L&M has worked alongside architects, engineers, and contractors to bring innovative, sustainable solutions to life. From specification support and technical expertise to project management and specialty lighting, their team is dedicated to delivering excellence. L&M believes in building relationships, supporting community, and helping spaces shine brighter. LaFace & McGovern, lighting the way for Pittsburgh since 1977.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Hey folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
All right, you're driving the kids all over the place, right? Maybe you need that Explorer, that Expedition for extra room. Get to Schultz Ford right now. School's back in, and you're driving them, like I said, all over the place. Colin Dunlap here for Schultz Ford. Get to one of the great locations. Schultz Ford Wexford, Schultz Ford Harmer, Schultz Ford South in West Mifflin, Schultz Ford in Wheeling. They're doing a great business down there, so get there. Always online at schultzford.com. Huge inventory. They got what you need. So go to the website right now, schultzford.com. AirProHeatingandCooling.com.
I'm with Rocco Florio of AirPro Heating and Cooling, a trusted HVAC company that carries quality Bryant products and serves the entire Pittsburgh area. Rocco, what's up on prices for furnaces and air conditioning equipment?
Larry, it's best for people to purchase now, as equipment prices are going up in the coming months. AirPro takes pride in our prices. We are lower than the competition and provide financing options and long warranties.
Call AirPro Heating and Cooling today at 800-749-0642. Bryant, whatever it takes.
This is Ryan Schlabel with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. We've been saving people time, money, and stress for over a decade. You don't have to list with an agent, make any repairs, or have a long closing process. Just call 412-500-9057 for a good fit. Come to the house, make you a cash offer on the spot. My team will handle the rest. Dealing with a complicated situation? No problem. Call 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyersofpittsburgh.com for a cash offer today.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 76 degrees at 5:30. I'm David Colorado. News brought to you by PJ Fitzpatrick. For all your home's windows, siding, doors, and bath, trust PJ.com. Residents of a Squirrel Hill apartment building that went up in flames today are considering what their next moves are. The 4-alarm fire on the 5600 block of Forward Avenue broke out just before 8:30 this morning. Everyone made it out safely, but News Radio KDK's Tamira Rush, who spent hours on site today, says the intensity of that fire became very clear.
It was like crumbling. You can hear the top of the building crumbling once the fire continued to rage. It was just like coming down. You just watched it collapse, and you knew at that particular time that, hey, this building is done for. There's nothing that you can do to salvage a building like that.
The fire broke out on the 3rd floor, and an electrical fire also broke out in the building's basement. Pittsburgh police say they're working with the FBI after a number of local synagogues received letters containing vague threats against the Pittsburgh Jewish community. The Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh says while the letters are deeply disturbing, they want to assure the Jewish community that safety and security remain their top priority. The Justice Department has filed a federal criminal charge against the man accused of the deadly stabbing of Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska in Charlotte, North Carolina last month. The Justice Department announced that the suspect in the attack, DeCarlos Brown Jr., is charged with 1 count of committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system. Russ Ferguson is U.S. Attorney for the Western District of North Carolina.
I hope that one day everyone feels safe riding light rail. Right now, I think we need to see changes before people are going to feel safe on light rail.
On Wall Street today, stocks closed higher. The Dow up 197 points, the Nasdaq gaining 81, and the S&P 500 added 17.5 points today. KDK Sports brought to you by NASCO Roofing, Pittsburgh's trusted and passionate roofer. Call NASCO Roofing at 412-373-2000. The Steelers have signed veteran safety Jabril Peppers as Deshaun Elliott recovers from a knee injury, and the Pirates are visiting Baltimore. First pitch coming up in about an hour from now. KDK Radio News Time 5:32. Our next update's at 6. I'm David Colorado on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDKA.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Americans spend $66 billion on weight loss products and services each year. And you know what? Right here in our hometown, Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Bitchoff has helped thousands of people do just that. Lose weight, keep it off. In fact, he's been helping people take back control of their lives for more than 20 years here in Pittsburgh. At the PA Hypnosis Center, you have an opportunity to do the same. Are you battling anxiety? So many people are. He can help you with that. If you want to quit smoking, Dan Vitchoff is the call you should make at the PA Hypnosis Center today. Schedule your free consultation at 724-934-8446, 724-934-8446. Dan can help you reach your goal with a 98% success guarantee. 724-934-8446. Call now.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Here we are, PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic. It's powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. What do we got, Margot?
All right, Colin, still seeing some heavy congestion on the Parkway West outbound, which is slow moving from Technology Drive, heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West inbound, it is slow moving from Carnegie, and on the Parkway East outbound, it is bumper to bumper, also from Technology Drive, heading into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel. Heading up towards the 40th Street Bridge on 28 outbound, it is brake lights from the Sarah Hines house. With AAA Traffic, I'm Margot Rensel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
With a mostly clear sky tonight, there will be some areas of fog later on, a low of 49. A lot of sunshine tomorrow after a foggy start for some, a high of 76. Clear tomorrow night, a low of 53. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us Wednesday on the Big K Morning Show, 5:30 until 10 in our 7 o'clock hour, our weekly visit with Rich Fitzgerald, a preview of another Artificial Intelligence Summit.
Yeah, big one coming, too. So, and that's this week. 866-391-1020. I always give you the phone number because I like talking to you and getting texts from you. It's the same thing. It's crazy how that technology works. You could call or you could text the same number. One of them's a voice call. The other is a text. Are you prepared for a fire? It's one of these things that's very interesting to me. So, gigantic fire, Squirrel Hill today. Luckily, no one got killed. No one was injured even. But Forward and Murray, that big apartment house, and you could see the smoke for miles. I saw it coming across the Fort Pitt Bridge, just right about 10 o'clock on the dot. I looked to my left, and you could see it. I couldn't see it billowing, but I could see the haze and knew that the sky was definitely a different color when I looked to the east. When I looked down the Parkway, and it was very odd to see that far away. Chief Jones on all of this.
We're going to send leave crews here to monitor this in case it flares up again, which it probably will. And I put into PLI, that's our Department of Permits, Licensing, and Inspection, for an emergency demolition on this building.
Yeah, it's just unsafe. It's unsafe to be there. It's that. big and there's that many bricks and that much building material and all of that. So they got to do away with it. A little more.
Put into PLI, that's our Department of Permits, Licensing, and Inspection, for an emergency demolition on this building. Since it's partially collapsed, and after all the water we dumped into it, it's not stable.
Scary situation.
We are going to be here for a while. There are no injuries at this time. The residents are being taken care of by both the Red Cross and the Salvation Army, and the crews on scene are getting rehab according to our policy, and everything is going as well as can be expected.
Okay, and they did great work. They just did. All the engines that responded, all the people that were there to help did fantastic work that no one was hurt. None of their own were hurt, and they put the fire out, and there was minimal damage to any adjacent structures. So let me ask you this, because if you think back to when you were little, we spend a lot of time on fire safety. Stop, drop, and roll, right? So there's that. And all of those different things. You think back to having a fireman at your school. You think back to learning about fire safety, about this, about that, or whatever, when you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, formative years. But then you have fire drills, too, at your school. And they're mandated, of course, but you still have them. You don't have them at your house anymore. You generally just think, I'll get it all figured out. Most of the fire education, I guess, is done when you're below 15 years old. And I think you hope to carry that with you the rest of your life. Which it really got me to thinking, because I was sitting here today during the balance of while this fire is burning. I was getting ready for my show. So I made it in a little past 10, and I get ready for my show until 2 when I go on. And I do that just about every day. That's my schedule. Then I come on until 5:55, then I'm out of here. And man, I'm out of here when I'm out of here. But anyhow, so I'm hearing Tamara's reports. I'm hearing Chief Jones's reports. And I had a sort of a inner look moment to where I said to myself, I don't ever want there to be a fire in my house. It's got to be scary as can be, but do I know what to do? I know where the one fire extinguisher is in the garage. I know where the other one is under the sink. I know that the detectors, the smoke detectors are everywhere they're supposed to be in the house. I know they were just tested by the Guardian guy not long ago, and I know we changed the batteries when you're supposed to. But you hear about having a family plan, going and having a meeting point, having I don't know if I have all that. And you think about a fire, and it's one of those things where your life is uprooted in seconds, and you've got to react. Whether you have a plan or not, you've got to react. And it really got me thinking today. How many of us think, well, okay, one, it'll never happen to us. And two, if it does, I'm level-headed enough and I got it and can figure it out enough to just kind of roll with the punches and get it all done and make sure that I'm safe. I've got to reevaluate that. I do. Because watching that today was ultra scary. Right, Tamara?
A large 4-alarm fire in Squirrel Hill is mostly under control after crews battled flames for 6 straight hours. Pittsburgh Bureau of Fire Chief Daryl Jones tells KDKA Radio, while the fire is largely under control, his crews will be on the scene for the foreseeable future, putting out several hotspots.
We're going to send lead crews here to monitor this in case it flares up again, which it probably will. And I put into PLI, that's our Department of Permits, Licensing, and Inspection, for an emergency demolition on this building.
The initial call came in at 8:25 a.m. Tuesday morning, with first crews arriving at 8:30. Crews found flames on the 3rd floor and immediately evacuated the building. Everyone escaped the building safely and no injuries were reported. Jones says an investigation is underway. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
All right, so you think about having a plan in life. And in so many things, you do have that plan, right? You have a plan if you get a flat tire. You can change it yourself or you call AAA. You have a plan if this happens. Oh, I left my kid at school, right? the activity got changed. Well, they have their cell phone. They're going to call me. This is honestly a life and death situation, or potentially could be. And how many of us have that plan? I don't know. I don't want to sound like daunting here or foreboding or anything like that. But it was one of those moments where I said to myself, all right, let me think about this for a little bit. All those people woke up in Squirrel Hill today, and I doubt any of them thought, today is the day that, today's the day there's going to be a fire, and I'm going to have to implement my plan. I don't think one of those people woke up today thinking of that. So it's forced me, and I don't know about you, but it's forced me to kind of reevaluate things. I'm not going to get home tonight and make us have a family meeting and get together and say, well, if this happens, you go here, you go here. But I will broach this over the next few days. That's what it's done for me. I will say, hey, if something crazy happens, and God forbid, I hope it doesn't, and the chances of it happening are very slim, but if something crazy happens to this kid, what are you going to do? To this kid, what are you going to do? Do we maybe need to have those ladders that you throw out of the second-story window that hook onto the window frame? Should you have a plan to get out on the roof? What about some kind of tool to break that window frame? You know, it all got me thinking today because I see those people standing out on the street and they were saved, but it could go south real quick, and a lot of times it does. 866-391-1020. That's 866-391-1020. We'll hear from, coming up in just a little bit, news conference today. We'll hear from Mike Tomlin, and he's 1-0 with Seattle coming to town. We'll get into that in just a couple minutes. But first, traffic. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. Margo.
All right, Colin, still seeing some heavy congestion on the Parkway West outbound, which is slow moving from Technology Drive, heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West inbound, it is brake lights from Carnegie, and heading into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel on the Parkway East outbound, it is bumper to bumper from Technology Drive as well. 28 outbound is slow moving from the Sarah Hines house heading up towards the Etna bypass. And 279 northbound is still seeing just a bit of congestion at the 79 split. With AAA traffic, I'm Margot Renzel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends, weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hey, give me your attention right now. Do not, I repeat, do not let the chimney or masonry project wait until next year because summer is over in the blink of an eye. Call Precision Pointing and schedule your free estimate today. Longer that you wait, more it will potentially cost. More damage it can potentially do. So if you have a masonry project, Precision Pointing and Restoration is the place. Visit brickpointingpittsburgh.net. That's brickpointingpittsburgh.net. Stop procrastinating. Call Precision Pointing.
Hello, this is Lester Botkin, Chief Investment Officer of Botkin Family Wealth Management. After I finished my service in the Marine Corps in 2006, I joined the trainee program of a Wall Street brokerage. I'll admit, those were some of the unhappiest days of my life. The financial crisis was dawning, and I was trying to survive a cutthroat environment that included cold calling on speakerphone in a room of my peers while markets plummeted and my firm raised their fees. After 8 years, Dad, Sarah, and I took a risk. We walked away from the relentless corporate mandates and opened the doors to our family-owned firm where we could put our clients' needs first. Best decision we ever made. Firms turn over all the time. Advisors turn over. We don't. We're headquartered in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. We live here and we work here in the building that we bought together. We take pride in offering personalized, caring service to our clients. It's our family helping your family. Find out more at botkinfamilywealth.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
This September, join us in honoring the 40 heroes of Flight 93, the first defenders of America on September 11th, 2001. Visit the award-winning Remember Me Rose Garden, a volunteer-led memorial just a quarter mile from the Flight 93 National Memorial. Walk among 3,000 roses and perennials, 1.5 acres of wildflowers and 50 flowering trees, a peaceful 13-acre place for remembrance and reflection. Free admission. Learn more at remembermerosegarden.org.
All right, a lot of traffic out there a little bit ago. We'll see if it shaped up at all. Margot has it for us. PJ Fitzpatrick, Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDK. Oh, what am I doing? It's the radio news desk, KDK Radio News Desk. Here's David Ballarado with a update.
Well, Colin, we're going to have more on that Squirrel Hill apartment building that was destroyed by fire. And also, jury selection began for a man accused of trying to kill President Trump. We'll have the latest coming up right here on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
Your drive just got easier. It's Colin Dunlap on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Am I a bonehead? You already knew that, though. How about Ballarado just no-selling it, being like, yeah, just throw it to me. And then I did, and he acted like nothing happened. Great stuff. Anyway, Margot will have traffic in just a little bit. I wouldn't steer you wrong. She might. I wouldn't. Just kidding, Margot. Anyway, Mike Tomlin held his weekly powwow today. And on Tuesdays, we generally play it just a little bit. Well, here's a couple minutes of his highlights as the Steelers are 1-0.
There's a lot of things that have our attention, but more importantly than anything else, man, it's week 2, and it's our first time at that 7-day cycle. And I'm excited about doing it at home in Acrisure in front of Steeler Nation. I'll pause and open it up for questions.
Did you go into the Jets game with an aggressive game plan, wanting to use your new toys, or did the flow of the game kind of dictate?
A little bit of both. Certainly, when you acquire talent, it's our job to utilize that talent, and particularly utilize that talent in spaces where it's in their wheelhouse. And certainly that was a goal last week, and that's a goal every week, to be quite honest with you. And then secondarily, we've always got to be willing to adapt and adjust based on how games are unfolding and how matchups may dictate that. Sometimes you might have a mindset about approaching a game a certain way, and a counter strategy might alter that. We weren't certain whether or not Sauce Gardner was going to travel with DK, for example, where it didn't take long to realize that he did. And so you make plans, whether he does or he doesn't. You see what's going to happen, and then you go down the line accordingly.
Building off of that, specifically about DK, you guys got a couple run-after-catch explosions from him throughout the course of the day. Was that by design thinking going in, or is that just kind of the nature of how those plays manifested?
Both, again. DK is big and fast. You certainly want to get the ball in his hands. He's certainly capable of being a tough tackle in the secondary once he does. And so it's our job to get him the ball in spaces where those talents show. And sometimes it's quick hitting passes, particularly early in the game. I think it was the first third down of the season. They pressured us We were able to distribute the ball to him quickly. He was able to make a would-be tackler miss and go down the sideline for roughly 25 yards. I think those are indications of why we acquired him.
Mike, just sticking with DK for a second. Everyone knows he's big, physical, and fast. But what have you learned? What's impressed you about his practice habits and the way that he works?
Man, he is a professional. But I can't say that I was surprised by it. You do your research. You know, this is a small league in the big scheme of things, and certainly you know about the significant players, not only their talents, but their relationship with their game, their lifestyle, if you will, and all of those things were really positive components of his profile, and one of the reasons why we were really excited about acquiring him.
Mike, how would you evaluate Broderick's performance?
You know, certainly it could be better, but certainly all of our performances could be better. As I mentioned, our quarterback got hit too much, and he was a component of that.
And can you worry about confidence with him at all?
I don't.
Why not?
Because it's football, you know. You don't get to the National Football League by being fragile emotionally. You know, there's a lot of confident guys that I work with. You win some battles, you lose some battles, you come back fighting. That's just the nature of the men that play this game at this level.
Mike, on the other side, how do you evaluate Troy Fontana's first game action?
Just like Broderick, I thought he had some good moments. I thought he certainly could be better. As I mentioned, as a collective, we got a quarterback hit too often for my liking. And so we're back to the lab.
Mike, what went into Cole from not getting any snaps on defense?
You know, we're just playing to win the game. Certainly, if opportunity presents itself from a matchup standpoint, we're open to it. But we don't feel obligated for participation. This is not Little League football. We're going to simulate a group that we think is capable of winning certain matchups in certain moments. And certainly Cole has had a good process. We're happy to have him back from injury. And I'm sure he'll get an opportunity in the not-too-distant future.
This is not Little League football, no. It's big boy football, and it reconvenes Sunday against Seattle. I'll be with you tomorrow at 2. Can't wait for that midway through the week. Margot has traffic now, I promise. PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDKA AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser. Genesis of Monroeville. What say you, Margarita?
All right, Colin, I'm getting a report for an accident on the Parkway West inbound right before the Fort Pitt Tunnel heading into the city. So that is backing up the route towards Carnegie when heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West outbound, it is brake lights from Technology Drive, and on the Parkway East outbound, it is slow moving from the bend at Bates heading into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel. 28 outbound is still seeing some congestion from the city heading up towards the Etna bypass. With AAA traffic, I'm Margot Rensel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Life-changing medicine is happening every day at UPMC Heart and Vascular Institute.
We have the luxury to be bold, to continue to be pioneers in the world for innovative heart care.
We are the place of discovery. Literally, the world experts in cardiac care are in this institution.
By combining technology, research, and the latest innovations, patients from all over the world come to UPMC.
Because of the expertise that exists here at UPMC, it allows us to take on patients that have been turned down at other centers.
We offer unique heart procedures that you cannot get anywhere else.
One of our founding mantras is that compassion has to be at the forefront of everything that we do.
From leading the region in cardiac procedures to being the only center in the state to offer integrated women's health and heart care, UPMC is pioneering life-changing cardiac care every day. Your heart care matters. Visit upmc.com/heart to learn more.
Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall Museum recognizes Pennsylvania's combat veterans who have received medals for gallantry. With this Hall of Valor moment, here's the Education Director of Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall Museum, Tim Neff.
Staff Sergeant George Fontanesi of Allegheny and Greene County was awarded the Silver Star during World War II near Avellino, Italy on September 15, 1943. Fontanesi, who spoke Italian fluently, operated alone in territory occupied by the enemy, visiting enemy strongpoints and studying their positions. In one instance, he He observed the enemy mining a bridge, and after the enemy had left, he effectively disarmed the charge. With information gained on his reconnaissance, he returned to his group of about 12 parachutists and made plans to harass the enemy at night by placing mines on roads constantly used by them. The willingness of Fontanesi to endanger his own safety enabled him and his men to return after 16 days behind enemy lines through heavily patrolled enemy country.
To nominate a qualifying hero for the Hall of Valor, please contact Tim Neff at 412-621-4253 or visit online at soldiersandsailorshall.org.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 76 degrees at 6 o'clock. I'm David Colorado. The news is brought to you by PJ Fitzpatrick. Need a new roof or just want to repair a small leak? Trust PJ.com. It's been a long day for firefighters handling a 4-alarm fire that destroyed an apartment building in Squirrel Hill today. Smoke from the blaze could be seen from miles away from the burning building on the 5600 block of Forward Avenue. That's near the Squirrel Hill interchange with the Parkway East. The flames broke out around 8:30 on the 3rd floor of the building. News Radio KDK's Tamira Rush was there for hours, where she saw the ladders with hoses aimed at the fire.
Daryl Jones made a decision to not allow the firefighters to go inside the building, but it was raging. It was overwhelming to me standing there.
No one was injured. The Red Cross is helping those who were displaced. They've unveiled plans for the $165 million expansion at Seneca Valley School District's intermediate school building. The plans call for connecting that building with the neighboring high school and to include a new performing arts area. John Pappas of Eccles Construction says the project will go out to bids in the next month or so, with the contracts being awarded by the end of the year. The first phase would be to build the new academic area.
And so we're looking at an initial move to kind of move the classroom areas into the new space summer of 2028. And then the existing portion of the building will be demolished, which will allow then for the auditorium and kind of connecting spaces to be done with a completion more of summer of 2030.
Some residents spoke out about the projected cost, saying they're wary of a tax hike to pay for it, but the district says it's considering a bond issue, cash or a loan, or financing through the State Public School Building Authority. Pittsburgh police say a missing man has now been found dead. 42-year-old Stephen Williams was last seen leaving the downtown Wyndham Friday night and then seen on Strawberry Way shortly after midnight that night. They say the cause and manner of death will be determined by the Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office. Potential jurors are still being questioned for the trial of the man charged with trying to assassinate President Trump in Florida. CBS News correspondent Matt Piper has this update.
Different groups of jurors have been going in and out of the courthouse in Fort Pierce, Florida, to be questioned by prosecutors. So far, out of the 180 jurors in the total pool, about half have been dismissed. One who was dismissed said, "I am MAGA and I love my president." Ryan Routh is representing himself. charged with trying to assassinate President Trump. The incident occurred last year while Trump played golf in South Florida. Just 9 weeks earlier, Trump had survived another attempt on his life while campaigning in Pennsylvania. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Routh has pleaded not guilty. On Wall Street today, it was a good day for investors as the Dow gained 197 points today. The Nasdaq was up 81. S&P 500 added on 17 points. KDKA Sports brought to you by NASCO Roofing, Pittsburgh's trusted and passionate roofer. Call NASCO Roofing at 412-373-2000. The Pittsburgh Steelers have signed veteran safety Jabril Peppers as Deshaun Elliott recovers from his knee injury. And the Bucs are visiting Baltimore. First pitch is coming up at 6:35. Mike Burrows will be on the mound for the Pirates. KDK Radio News Time 6:03. Right now around the Pittsburgh area, it's sunny. It's 76 degrees. KDKA AAA traffic and the AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with the team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loads and no monthly payments. Call 412-556-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com, 412-556-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Join the National Kidney Foundation at Highmark Stadium in Station Square on Sunday, September 28th from 8 a.m. to noon for the annual Kidney Walk.
Why walk? Kidney disease is the 8th leading cause of death in the United States. 12 people die every day while on a waiting list for a kidney transplant. 1 in 3 people are at risk for kidney disease.
Every step you take helps fight kidney disease. Register your team today at kidneywalk.org/Pittsburgh.
Have you been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer? You may qualify for a clinical trial studying an investigational therapy designed to activate your immune system to fight cancer throughout the body. If your prostate cancer has spread and you've received prior hormone therapy, you may be eligible. Take the next step in your fight. Visit Legion100trial.com to learn more, or call 1-888-636-5344. That's Legion100trial.com or 1-888-636-5344.
KDKA traffic on the 5.
All right, here we go. Another day with your Pratt Pack on the radio. It is 6:05 from the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center. KDKA AAA traffic powered by Bowser and Genesis of Monroeville. Here's Margot.
All right, Rob. Seeing some major congestion throughout the city on the Parkway West outbound, which is slow moving from Technology Drive heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West inbound, it is slow moving from the middle of Green Tree Hill. Going into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel on the Parkway East outbound, it is brake lights from the bend at Bates. And 28 outbound is still seeing some congestion from the city heading up towards the Etna Bypass. With AAA traffic, I'm Margot Renzel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mainly clear and cool again for tonight. We'll get down to 49 for an overnight low. There will be some areas of fog late tonight into early tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly sunny. A high tomorrow, 76. And lots of sunshine again Thursday. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
If you are new to Medicare and have questions, Aetna can help. Aetna has a Medicare Advantage plan that includes prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plan includes benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-833-771-3415 to learn more. A licensed agent will answer your call.
Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our DSMPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, here we go for a Tuesday with your Pratt Pack. First off, to all my friends, and I have many in that community of Squirrel Hill, my thoughts and prayers are with you. All day from the home studio doing work to prepare for tonight's show. I was locked into KDKA Radio. Our newsroom did an incredible job today. Tamara out there on the scene, and of course, Dave back here anchoring, and of course, our news director and program director, PJ Kamanchik. Just a job well done. Social media as well, live video. Just, it was riveting. It was just absolutely riveting. So this massive fire ripped through an apartment building today in Squirrel Hill, sending residents scurrying for safety at nearby businesses as emergency crews battled the 4-alarm blaze. Residents were huddled in the auto shop parking lot across the street, some in robes and others wrapped in comforters. Several people were giving out water and snacks to a group of residents huddled outside watching the building burn. All residents were accounted for, this according to public safety spokeswoman Kara Cruz, and no injuries were reported. And I double-checked with David just before coming on the air, so that's a blessing. But Chief Jones, who I've known since his days in Aliquippa, doing what he did there and continues to do here in Pittsburgh. People like Darren Kelly, who you've heard many times with me, AFL, of course, Fayette, Allegheny Fayette Central Labor Council. He is a firefighter. A young woman who happens to be celebrating her birthday today, Andrea Benacki, AAA East Central, her father, a retired firefighter. So I know a lot of people involved in that incredible fire department that is the Pittsburgh Firefighters. So here's what I want to do to begin. First off, again, thoughts and prayers to everybody in Squirrel Hill affected by this. A lot of displaced residents. We're going to continue to follow this story. This is what we do at KDK. So if you need to know anything about it, just simply tune in, KDK 100.1 FM, AM 1020. Get that Odyssey app, download it on your phone, AUDACY. We'll have continuing information as this story continues to unfold in the coming days. But I just want to salute the Pittsburgh firefighters. You know, we all too often get caught up in heroes, people in the entertainment world, our favorite athletes. But I've often said, and a lot of this goes back to when my father was a volunteer firefighter, and those men in my neighborhood, part of the greatest generation, working full-time, working shifts in various mills throughout western Pennsylvania, all stepped up and became volunteer firefighters. And many of them were awoke in the middle of the night when they just were getting a few hours sleep to get back and do it all over again as far as going to work. But they never did not go. And these professional firefighters that we talk about in Pittsburgh, you see those stations, somehow, some way, you've often wondered, who are they? What are they all about? I can simply tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, they are heroes, each and every one of them. So to Chief Jones and everyone Pittsburgh firefighters involved today, just know how much you are loved, respected, and appreciated. And I got to tell you, this is one of the reasons why people need to understand Pittsburgh is so unique, and the resources that these brave people need, we have to find a way to get it done. Yeah, I must tell you, I know a lot of firefighters, you know, some who actually work for cities from East Liverpool, Ohio, to Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, to volunteer fire departments throughout western Pennsylvania. And I brought this up on the air about, I don't know, a couple of months back. I was driving into work one day, very early in the morning, like 3 a.m., and I looked up and I saw one of these beautifully lit, illuminated billboards talking about a local fire department that was looking for volunteer firefighters. And I thought, this is something I have to talk about. If you have the ability, my middle child, Robbie, who's now 26, has been talking about the possibility of joining the local fire department back home in Beaver County. And he asked me what I thought. And it's your son. You think of burning buildings. You're a little, nervous about it. But I told him in the big picture, if you want to step up and do what your grandfather did, so be it. The camaraderie is absolutely second to none. But I think of all of the things that these fire departments do throughout the area and fundraisers, and they're 24/7, 365 days a year. We have a brand new fire station being built in Monaca, Pennsylvania, that's absolutely beautiful on Pacific Avenue. So this business of firefighting is all around me and has been a part of who I am. I've covered many stories like the ones that were being covered today, the different angles of this horrific fire, and it's a miracle that there were no injuries. But they need firefighters in this country more than ever. We talk about the rank and file as far as police are concerned. That's an epidemic. School teachers, the lack of them, that's an epidemic. But now you're talking about people needing people to step up to become firefighters. You understand that firefighters was one of those jobs or professions or a volunteer basis that was handed down from one generation to the next. And as a kid growing up, that local fire hall that was literally 2 doors from where I lived in Dougherty Township Thursday night was a work night. They would wash trucks, they would scrub floors, they would do what they needed to do, throw back a couple of beers, shoot a couple of games of pool, and go home. But the idea was to make sure that that department was pristine and at any given moment go. And they would hold these drills in the back of the fire department, and I would go and watch. They would have these organized, fires and things of that nature. And I used to think, these people are incredible. And I was thinking today of my entire life and the fires that I've covered and firefighters and all of this and the great coverage at KDK, and to be able to have visual with what we were doing on social media, it was second to none. And I have been here since the mid-'80s. I was a kid when I started here. And to think where we have evolved and how we are continuing to use audio and video and to be able to bring stories like this and help people in their time of need, it was just a sad, horrific story for sure. But it was so nice to know that this incredible team at KDKA was out there doing what they were doing today. Calling this afternoon, great job as always with Margot. And I know Anna is in there with her as well tonight, one of our producers who's in the midst of some training, Anna Beckham. So I want you to know I was so proud of this community today, but especially these firefighters. I just want you to know that you are greatly appreciated. No one, as far as I'm concerned, I will never let anybody take advantage of who you are and what you all do. And if you are past, present, or you're connected to a fire department anywhere listening to me right now, know you are one of the greatest resources we have in our country. And I often thought, about maybe doing it, but my career just took me in so many different directions, and I was working morning, noon, and night, and I was traveling throughout West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. But I do think about it a lot, especially when I see a fire station. What type of person wants to do that? And I started thinking about some of the people recently because of today that I've known that have been connected to being a firefighter. And the one thing that kept really crossing my mind more and more and more, they want to help. And they're willing to risk their own life as they did today to help us in this region and those folks in Squirrel Hill. And I hope all of you find housing. I hope your lives get back to normal as soon as possible. And I just want you to know we are a part of this community. You are family to me. Even though I may have not met you ever, maybe you've listened to me, I'm thinking about all of you tonight, those who fought the fire and those who have been displaced because of that fire. Pittsburgh always comes together in tough times, and I saw that today, and I heard it right here on KDKA. It is 6:15. All right, from the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDK AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser and Genesis of Monroeville, here's Margot Rensel.
All right, Rob, still seeing some heavy congestion on the Parkway West outbound, which is slow moving from 2nd Avenue, heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. Heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West inbound, it is brake lights from the middle of Green Tree Hill, and still seeing just a bit of congestion heading into the Squirrel Hill Tunnel on the Parkway East outbound. 28 is also just a little bit congested from the city heading up towards the Etna bypass. With AAA Traffic, I'm Margot Rensel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill. But those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Tap Good RX. Saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Every year, almost 30,000 babies in America are born with birth injuries. It's every parent's worst nightmare. If your child suffered a birth injury, please call our firm to find out if we can help.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Get ready for the Free Eats and Beats Festival at Wheeling Island Casino Saturday, September 27th from 11 to 9 p.m. Food trucks, beer, rides, and live music all day. Bring your friends and celebrate. You don't want to miss this. Country rap sensation Colt Ford takes the Wheeling Island showroom stage Saturday, September 27th. Doors open at 8 p.m. Show starts at 9 p.m. Tickets start at $25. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com or the front desk. One night only. Don't miss out. Register for Pittsburgh's Fall Fitness Classic. The Great Race 10K and 5K take place on Sunday, September 28th. It's all part of one great weekend, celebrating the Richard S. Caligiuri City of Pittsburgh Great Race. Presented by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Details at KDKA-radio.com.
You want a roof that doesn't leak. Of course, that's a given. You need a roofing partner with the experience and know-how to ensure the structural integrity and energy efficiency of your roof. Trust PJ Fitzpatrick with their 45 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. Our professionals install most roofs in just one day. PJ Fitzpatrick has a variety of financing packages that work with any budget. Visit trustpj.com today. That's trustpj.com.
As an athlete, I'm all about performance and my overall health. I've wanted to improve my smile for a while, but I thought braces was the only option. A friend of mine mentioned she was improving her smile with Invisalign, so I checked out with my local orthodontist and found out that Invisalign could work for me as well. After a quick scan, my orthodontist created my Invisalign plan, and I couldn't be more excited to start. Check out Invisalign.com to find a doctor in your neighborhood. It's great that there are trained Invisalign doctors in our own community here. Invisalign.com.
Tune in to KDKA Radio every Thursday at 2:37 p.m. for your weekly Medicare update with Lisa Lauro from Secure Money Health. Lisa will provide you information on everything related to Medicare and how to prepare for it. Brought to you by Secure Money Health.
All right, you're with your Pratt Pack on a Tuesday, 20 inside the hour 6. Let's get out to the KDK Radio News Desk for the latest on that fire and more. Here is David Ballarado.
Well, yes, we'll have more on that, but also jail time for 2 convicted in a violent attack on a Sewickley man in his home. We'll have more coming up at 6:30 on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
All right, David, thanks. Little money music there. It's Bloomberg Money Minute time, Bloomberg Radio on KDKA Radio.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A sharp slowdown in the U.S. labor market. The government temporarily revising job ads in the year leading up to this past March by 911,000 workers. That's a staggering overcount. But it's got investors sure that the Fed will lower interest rates when it meets next week, sending all the major averages on Wall Street to fresh record highs. Today, the Dow up 196, the Nasdaq up 81, the S&P added 17. Strong earnings after the closing bell from software giant Oracle, predicting revenue from AI cloud infrastructure will shoot up 77% next fiscal year. More fallout from the Cracker Barrel logo change fiasco, which set the internet on fire, its share price tumbling before the chain agreed to bring its old logo back. Now it's scrapping plans to remodel all its 660 locations after updating just 4 of them. And DoorDash teaming up with Ace Hardware stores for quick delivery, while Uber Eats will deliver beauty products from Ulta stores. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Rob Fracks on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
NASCO Roofing Instant Access. You can join our shows. Click away. Email us at instantaccess@KDKA. We have a lot of stuff to get to tonight. Let me just tell you what's coming up in just a little bit. He is back from Blueberry Pharmacy. Cal McCormick will be here in the 7 o'clock hour. And then coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we got a couple of really cool guests that I think you're going to definitely find intriguing. One of them, after CBS Radio News at 8:30, is Stacey Garrity. She, of course, is the treasurer of Pennsylvania, but she also recently announced she'll be running for governor on the Republican ticket, so she will be here. And then the executive director, Brandeis Miller, Tickets for Kids Charities. They do really cool stuff, and they've got an amazing event happening September 17th, and we're going to be telling you all about that. And then some of the things that we're going to be talking about, obviously, I think the best way to approach what happened today is to give people a chance to talk. If you were affected by it, you were in the vicinity, you want to discuss what happened in Squirrel Hill, I would definitely love to hear from you tonight, give you something to kind of just discuss. And obviously, if you watched it, I'm sure it was overwhelming. I've been to scenes like that before, and it's very traumatic for sure. But the best news is that nobody got injured, and that truly is something to be very happy about. But also, this whole thing as far as these firefighters, you know, I'm always for people who are out there as far as first responders, whether they be firefighters, EMTs, police officers at any level, the men and women there as well. It's a great opportunity to give firefighters past and present, whether you are with the Pittsburgh Fire Department or any fire company throughout this region. If you want to talk about it, the duties of it, the responsibility, what makes you tick, why you want to do it. And if I can just get a handful of people to maybe lean in and want to become firefighters in a particular community or maybe here in this great city of Pittsburgh, then I've done my job. Because this is another reason why we talk about funding and we talk about jobs and we talk about taxes and we talk about our city. You cannot lose these resources. These resources, such as firefighters, are some of the most important commodities that we have. And it's not literally just because of a fire and damage to property. It's a matter of life and death. You know, it's scary. And I got to tell you, the older you get, certain things that used to, you'd wonder why your parents worried about them so much, they start to kind of tick in, that little thought process, right? As far as smoke damage, fire, being asleep, living alone, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors. We talk about this stuff all the time during Fire Prevention Month in the month of October on the True Value Home Improvement Show. I go through my house. I've got a bunch of 9-volt batteries, always concerned, always wondering. And I live alone. But when I had my children under, roof and they were small, it was a constant fear. I mean, there's nothing more devastating or more frightening than a fire. And the thing about fires that I have learned talking to people that cover them on a regular basis or fight them, they can go from bad to worse to horrific to ugly that quick. And today, for as horrific as that was, and I was watching some of the video on our Facebook page here at KDKA, and I just couldn't believe the size and the mass of that, and how Tamara was describing it was exactly what I saw when watching the video. It's just amazing. So you may want to go to KDKARadio.com, of course, and of course our Facebook, our X format, and see this thing unfold in front of your very eyes. If you're kind of just learning about it now, maybe you're on your way home and you didn't have a chance to really follow the story earlier today, you can get all sorts of good video and information at any one of our social media outlets. And of course, you can always go to KDKARadio.com as well. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about. But we've got Stacey Garrity tonight here talking about a number of things. She's the treasurer. She's running for governor. The budget impasse. That's going to be really the big ticket item with her tonight. And I saw earlier today that there's some news as far as regional transit and also the Pittsburgh Public Schools. Believe it or not, 2025, and I kind of wasn't thinking about this until I was researching this story today, because they're working on their fiscal budget for 2026. And I'm thinking, well, oh my, we're in like the last, this is it, the final quarter. I mean, 2025 is almost over. So a lot of these people are going to be looking for some of those funds to keep going. And it's another resource, something that we have really not done enough for, the Pittsburgh Public Schools. And something has to be done. They're mulling over this school closures and some of the buildings they want to shut down. They haven't been able to finalize that. So the Pittsburgh Public Schools has got another whammy. And this thing is scary, thinking about what they're going to do, making their budget for 2026. So we're going to talk to her about it. And I'm simply going to ask her, like I asked Jay Costa last night. I feel as though sometimes the East gets preferential treatment in the state of Pennsylvania, and it really shouldn't be that way. And I think most of you feel the same way. So that's all coming up tonight with your Pratt Pack on KDKA.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life. your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Bumble, who spilled the dip dish? Oh, it's football season, tailgate season, and when you're having a little tailgate in your house and people will spill, you need to call Zero Res. Or kids coming in and out, back to school, they got you. Zero Res will clean up the pizza spills, puppy padiddles, and they can get all of that out of your carpets or any of your surfaces. And don't forget your air ducts. This is Larry Richard for Zero Res. Call today. Take advantage of the KDKA special. Pittsburgh's ultimate carpet cleaner is Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning too. Zero Res. Make sure you mention KDKA when you call 412-701-1188. 412-701-1188. Score big with Zero Res. Spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
We're talking with Joe Cibulis from Highwood Cemetery about cemetery care. Joe, can you please explain your perpetual care fund to us?
Sure. A perpetual care fund is a trust established by cemeteries to ensure ongoing maintenance of burial grounds and mausoleums forever. We set aside 15% of the sale price of burial lots and other cemetery items. Income generated from this fund is used to cover costs like mowing lawns, road repair, and other essential upkeep after all the remaining burial plots have been sold.
So people with lots at Highwood Cemetery can be assured that there are sufficient funds to maintain the cemetery in the future.
Yes, at Highwood Cemetery, our perpetual care fund is in excess of $1 million. A third-party trustee, a fiduciary, is responsible for managing the fund. Everything your family has at Highwood Cemetery will be protected by our perpetual care fund.
You can learn more about Highwood Cemetery by calling 412-766-6600.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 75 degrees at 6:30. I'm David Ballarado. A massive fire ripped through an apartment building today in Squirrel Hill, displacing several residents. News Radio KDK's Tamira Rush has details.
The fire that raged for hours at the Jefferson apartment building in Pittsburgh's Squirrel Hill neighborhood has finally been brought under control. One wheelchair-bound resident who needed the assistance of several firefighters tells KDKA Radio her cat Jelly is unaccounted for.
The material stuff you can replace with my little kitty. She's only 7 pounds. She has to be scared to death. You can replace the material things, but not the people.
The fire started on the 3rd floor of the building and continued to burn through the roof, causing it to collapse. All residents were accounted for and no injuries were reported. The Salvation Army and Red Cross are assisting displaced residents. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
By the way, city police updating that 2 cats were found alive, but 1 did die in the fire. 2 Sewickley men are going to prison for 6 to 12 years for torturing a 62-year-old man in his home. News Radio KDKA's Paul Rasmussen has more.
Noah Sadowski and Dylan Morris, both in their 30s, pleaded guilty in June to aggravated assault, robbery, burglary, conspiracy, and other crimes. Court paperwork says the pair ambushed John Olson at his home on Little Street in April of 2024. He was on the back porch when they pushed him inside, threw him to the floor, and handcuffed and gagged him. The men burned Olson with cigarettes, superglued his eyes, cut his face with a knife, held a gun to his head, and urinated on him, torturing Olson for hours.
On Wall Street today, the Dow gained 197 points, the Nasdaq up 81, S&P 500 added on 17 points. KDKA Sports brought to you by NASCO Roofing, Pittsburgh's trusted and passionate roofer. Call NASCO Roofing at 412-373-2000. The Steelers have signed veteran safety Jabril Peppers as Deshaun Elliott recovers from his knee injury, and the Bucs visit Baltimore. First pitch coming up in just a few minutes. Mike Burrows on the mound for the Pirates. KDK Radio News Time 6:32. Our next update's at 7. I'm David Ballarado.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Americans spend $66 billion on weight loss products and services each year. And you know what? Right here in our hometown, Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Vitchoff has helped thousands of people do just that. Lose weight, keep it off. In fact, he's been helping people take back control of their lives for more than 20 years here in Pittsburgh at the PA Hypnosis Center. You have an opportunity to do the same. Are you battling anxiety? So many people are. He can help you with that. If you want to quit smoking, Dan Vitchoff is the call you should make at the PA Hypnosis Center today. Schedule your pre-consultation at 724-934-8446, 724-934-8446. Dan can help you reach your goal with a 98% success guarantee. 724-934-8446. Call now.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
KDKA traffic on the 5.
All right, 635 from the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center. KDKA AAA traffic powered by Bowser and Genesis of Monroeville. Here's Margot.
All right, Rob, getting a report for an accident on the Parkway West outbound in Green Tree Borough. So that is backing up the route heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel on the Parkway West outbound from 2nd Avenue. On the Parkway West inbound, it is brake lights from the middle of Green Tree Hill heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. And on the other major roadways, it is starting to clear up, so it shouldn't be too much longer on your commute home. With AAA traffic, I'm Margot Renzel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
With a mostly clear sky tonight, there will be some areas of fog later on, a low of 49. A lot of sunshine tomorrow after a foggy start for some, a high of 76. Clear tomorrow night, a low of 53. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
This report brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us Wednesday on the Big K Morning Show, 5:30 until 10 in our 7 o'clock hour, our weekly visit with Rich Fitzgerald, a preview of another Artificial Intelligence Summit.
You know, I heard something very interesting today about artificial intelligence, and it makes all the sense in the world. You know, Dave has been reporting that it was a pretty good day on Wall Street, and I've been following the Dow and the NASDAQ since pretty much the opening bell, and it really has had a pretty good day. But, you know, some of the pundits have said the reason why this president is doing okay, and he's got an approved rating of 55%, AI is doing for our economy, the bulls and bears on Wall Street, what the dot-com era did for the Bill Clinton administration, although I don't think it's going to get the president a balanced budget like it did Bill Clinton during his administration. Yeah, I know. Less than 30 years ago, we had a balanced budget in America, and we don't have one now. We're trillions in debt. Go figure. Talk about frivolous spending, right? Like a drunken sailor. But this AI news is going to continue to power the nation. And who's in the driver's seat when it comes to AI in these data centers from Homer City to Bruce Mansfield? So from Indiana County to Beaver County, and another summit you heard Larry talk about, and, well, could be happening very soon. He'll give you all the details, who, what, when, where, why, and how with Allegheny County former Chief Executive Rich Fitzgerald, who's doing a great job creating jobs, talking about jobs, and making things happen, and that's a good thing. All right, listen, we're going to get into some really hard-hitting stuff after we take care of some guests and other things tonight, including... If I have time tonight, I want to talk about RFK Jr.'s report on health care when it comes to our children in America. I don't agree with everything, especially when it comes to vaccines, but we need to get kids out and get moving. They need to start exercising, mind, body, and soul, kicking up a little dirt, getting them away from the snacks and the video games. Look, we ate all sorts of junk food when I was a kid growing up, but we never let any grass grow under our feet. We were literally moving at all times. Even when now with school back in session, you'd come home, do whatever little homework you had, you ate, and then your parents said, go do what you got to do, and you would be out until those streetlights came on. Kids need to be on bikes. They need to be jumping rope, going to playgrounds, climbing things, swing sets, doing things that kids do. And if he can do something to restart the whole idea of fitness within schools and within the home, making our children happy and healthy again, you know, one of the things that he is going to talk about, over-medicating our kids. That's something else a lot of people have been concerned about. I'm not smart enough or a professional to be able to really comment on that, but tying it into maybe depression and other things that are happening in our country today, childhood obesity, which I do know from doing Medical Frontiers for years with Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer, the Allegheny Health Network, is an epidemic right now. So something has to be done. So I was thinking also about being a kid again today because of what's happening right now at Camden Yards in Baltimore. It's the Baltimore Orioles hosting our Pittsburgh Pirates. You have to understand, we just lost a great member of the Baltimore Orioles that I remember as a kid watching growing up. Loved him so much that I had a Spalding Davy Johnson baseball mitt. He was an incredible baseball player. But back when the Pirates and I were a whole lot younger, playing Baltimore in the 70s, you had the 71 Pirates led by Danny Murtaugh. The same guy took them to that incredible World Series win in the seventh game against the Yankees in 1960. Danny Murtaugh in that world-famous rocking chair, right? And then the Pirates and Reds, Bench and Company, battling it back and forth every single year throughout the 70s. But the Pirates, we are family. In 1979, Chuck Tanner from nearby Newcastle, Pennsylvania, and people like Dave Parker, Willie Stargell. But some of the players that Baltimore had, Boog Powell, Frank Robinson, Paul Blair, Mark Belanger, Jim Palmer, a great pitcher. I mean, those were wonderful matchups, and you had the very animated Earl Weaver, right? Just great times, and having a chance to kind of relive that a little bit now with these two teams playing baseball, it just took me back. And Thursday, we're going to have some baseball for you here on KDKA Radio. But, man, those were great days. And that rivalry we had with Baltimore was second to none. And something really strange happened to me the summer of that year leading up to the World Series, and they kind of became friends for the next 10 years. I go off to vacation with my family to Geneva on the Lake. We stayed at a place called Shoreland, and basically they were just cottages, right? There was no heat other than the fireplace. Yeah, running water. You had a bathroom, but for the most part, very rustic, right on the shores of Lake Erie. And I mean, the wind would whip around and those waves would crash and the smell of dead things. I mean, it was crazy. You had to wear your tennis shoes to go into the water because it was rock for about 100 yards out, right? But I met a family who happened to be from Baltimore and was related to that pitcher, Jim Palmer. So every single summer, our family, the entire neighborhood that I grew up in, we would go to Shoreland for a week or two in the summer. And to make a little extra change, because your dad wasn't giving you money to go to the arcade, he wasn't giving you money to go to the penny candy store or if you found someone that you might want to take on a date to that local movie as you kind of went through that coming-of-age stage in your life, you had to make your own scratch. You had to go get your own jingle, right? So we, because of these fireplaces, found a place where we could go chop wood, had this little wagon that we got, and we would basically sell firewood so they wouldn't have to chop it to the folks and these adults who were kind of playing cards, doing a few things that adults do, a little cocktail here and there, playing some of their music, dancing, on the beach, having a good time with that big bonfire. And we made a fortune. I mean, we made like 10, 20, 30, sometimes $40 in a week. That was big change back in the day. But he and I would literally at night, transistor radio, because KDKA still came in, right? And he had a station in Baltimore, 50,000 watts, these massive stations. And we would sit under the stars, hang out on the beach with maybe girls that we had met, RC Cola, a couple of moon pies, and just listen to baseball. And we became friends. And it's funny, literally good friends. And then right after the summer of like 79 or 80, when I was kind of coming back after broadcasting school and hanging out, it was like it was over. It was like I never saw him again, and I haven't thought of him until today. And I remember the coolest thing that we wanted to get our hands on with the leftover money we had were these Geneva sweatshirts. They were black and white, and it had a picture of the shoreline, and it had the big white letters Geneva across it, and Geneva Lake, right? And Erie. And that was what we wanted. And it was like just memory. And I thought about it all because as I got to work, doing some work in the back studio, I realized the Pirates were playing Baltimore. And it just brought me back all these great memories. And watching those 2 World Series that went down to the wire, had Clemente doing his incredible things in 71, and sadly we lost him shortly thereafter. And then it was Willie Stargell, We Are Family, and really the unveiling of one of the greatest players to ever play for the Pittsburgh Pirates, really in his prime, a 5-tool player who recently went into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, the Cobra, Dave Parker. So Baltimore and the Pirates, they rekindle that relationship and create some new memories as they're going to be playing baseball over the next couple of days in Baltimore. You'll hear some of those games, 93.7 The Fan, then later this week right here on KDK, and we'll recap it all, and we'll continue to talk about the Pirates, who I really believe are just a few bats away of starting to actually contend. So we'll see what happens, but we'll do it on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show this week. As always, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDK or on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, but you can also watch us online with our KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to kdkradio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream, or now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page to watch everything we are doing in the studio, like right now, going to traffic. It's 6:45. From the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, KDK AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser and Genesis of Monroeville. Here's Margot Rensel. Margot.
All right, Rob, getting a report for an accident on the 500 block of Pittsburgh Street in Springdale Borough. Also on the Parkway West inbound, it is slow moving from the middle of Green Tree Hill heading into the Fort Pitt Tunnel. But on the other major roadways, it is mostly clear, so shouldn't be too much longer on your commute home. With AAA Traffic, I'm Margot Rensel on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Did you miss this week's Allegheny Health Network Medical Frontiers? Log on to the Allegheny Health Network website to listen to your favorite Medical Frontiers show. Visit ahn.org/Medical Frontiers podcast and look for your favorite Medical Frontiers show.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
There is treatment for neuropathy. I'm Dr. Dawn Spalla. At Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine, we treat neuropathy patients daily. No drugs, no surgery, just relief. Call 724-224-2224 for a free consultation in our Sarver or Brackenridge locations.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine. And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
All right, coming up on 10 before the top of the hour, back out to the KDKA Radio News Desk for the headlines. Here's David Valorado. David?
Rob, the FBI and Pittsburgh police are investigating some letters that were sent to local synagogues. We'll have details coming up at 7 on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
Bloomberg Money Minute time again. Bloomberg Radio, KDKA Radio.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Apple today unveiling the iPhone 17 lineup and the iPhone Air, its thinnest smartphone ever, along with updated watches and earbuds. But there was hardly any mention of Apple Intelligence, its AI technology, or an update to its Siri voice assistant. Underwhelming investors. That sent shares of Apple lower at the close, but elsewhere on Wall Street, fresh record highs across the board on hopes that a massive revision in added jobs over the past year, more than 900,000 of them that didn't happen, will push the Fed to lower rates next week. With that, the Dow today up 196, the Nasdaq up 81, the S&P added 17. Ford is recalling nearly 2 million Ford and Lincoln vehicles, some dating back 10 years, over a faulty rear-view camera that can give the driver an inverted or distorted image. And it won't be out till next year, but the Girl Scouts today unveiling a new cookie called Explore Mores, combining chocolate, marshmallow, and toasted almond cream. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, Cal McCormick is here. We're going to go down and let him into the building, get him into the studio, and get warmed up for a great hour of information when it comes to prescription prices and what they're doing to get rid of the middleman and save you a whole lot of dough on the biggest names as far as pharmaceuticals in the business. He, of course, represents Blueberry Pharmacy out there in Westview, so he'll be here for the 7 o'clock hour. And then 8 o'clock hour, we got a lot of good stuff, including State Treasurer Stacey Garrity has also announced she is running on the Republican ticket for the governor's race. So we got lots of stuff to get to tonight, including something I cannot wait to get your opinion on. And it is the president. The Department of Education is going to issue new guidance about prayer in public schools. President Trump making that announcement recently at the White House. So, yeah, I know they are, in many cases, able to worship in silence, right? But this is kind of connecting to what I've been talking about in recent days. And it's funny. It's not that I arrange it this way. It's not that my thought process is this way. But it's just another reason why we are where we are in America, where the foundation of things that really matter, roads, bridges, buildings, brick and mortar, are crumbling, but also that moral compass in America as well. And we wonder why we're dealing with young people who don't want to kind of follow in the footsteps of mom, dad, or their grandparents, because there's no connection. There is nothing that engages them mentally, emotionally, or physically wanting to be a part of that recipe of success. Now, look, I'm not ancient, but I've been at this game a long time. And I remember back in the day, And I'm not saying that I liked it, but I did it because we were told to. We started the morning with a prayer in school. And I know faith cometh by hearing, right? And you got to hear it to understand what faith is all about. And we always started off with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I know friends who went to parochial school, a lot of prayer. My two other children, the youngest children, my daughter Eva and my son Robbie, matriculated all the way through the Catholic diocese and that great school system that they have. And prayer was a part of their life. And all I can say is they've made a whole lot better decisions in life at their young age than their old man did, okay? And I really think a lot of it had to do with that faith-based education, right? But I believe that children should have the right to pray in school. They should have the right to have faith in a higher power. Not that we have to shove it or push it on them. It will come naturally because it is a part of many of their lives, whether they're at a parish or a synagogue with their parents or family on the weekend. But the most important thing that I believe that is needed now more than ever in America is patriotism. It's about knowing what that flag stands for. Now, most of us, sadly, when you talk to young people, and I get it, that right of being able to express yourself, when you say, what does the flag mean to you? They'll say football players taking a knee. And I'm telling you, I've seen it firsthand because I have been in those conversations. But the flag should be that red, white, and blue and what it stands for in the field of stars and the connection to people that have made the ultimate sacrifice. That's what it should be about. And doing the Pledge of Allegiance or having that flag present gives everyone an understanding what the big picture is and why we have to be in it to win it. And why young people, and I have a daughter as young as 23, a son 26, another son 34 with 3 kids of his own, and we talk about this stuff all the time. And I think even they are starting to understand what service is all about, what helping is all about. We were talking about these brave firefighters today in Squirrel Hill. This is a calling. This is a mission. But we need young people understanding what service is all about. So when they become of age and they have the opportunity to either volunteer or lean into some sort of service business, that they're willing to do it. Even my next guest, Cal McCormick, the service of becoming running a pharmacy, being a pharmacist. That's the business of service, helping people, giving them an opportunity to have someone that they can look to for guidance when it comes to very important issues. I've said it many times, not all of us can be leaders and not all of us can lean in or have the ability to do certain things. But one thing we can all do, we can take a little bit of time to see what our neighbors need and to help them out. And I think it's that foundation. It's how you start that recipe of life, people that you're around, relationships that you build. And for some reason, ideology, we decided to start pulling out and taking out bits and pieces of a recipe that was successful for generations, especially when it comes to our school system. I'm not saying it's for everyone, and you may not even agree with me. But I do know this. I did a little blog from the home studio today earlier on this. And I don't want to say that it went viral, but it lit the lamp. A lot of people had some comments on it. So I figured that a lot of you are going to have comments on it tonight. And you don't have to be a baby boomer to understand what I'm talking about. If you've grown up in a household, and it doesn't have to be a 2-parent household, but a household where there's a little bit of faith and there's a little bit of patriotism, maybe that flag flying from the eaves on the front porch, it at least gives you an opportunity to get started and head down that direction of, look, that path that we've all been a part of and people who blazed that trail long before we were even thought of or came to this place that is planet Earth, there were people taking giant steps into the future, even so much so as risking their life. Think of this. We talk about immigration now and what's going on in the world. Think of the immigrants who came through Ellis Island over 100 years ago. Many just a few years removed becoming citizens in this country of the old country. And then they had to take arms, represent the United States of America, and do battle with countries that were their home birthplace countries. But they did it because they understood the price of freedom, Constitution, democracy. And the flag, to me, when I look at it, I don't think of anything but one thing: the ultimate sacrifice. And we cannot stop telling these stories because before long, there will be no Vietnam veterans left. And it will continue to be that way from Desert Storm, Persian Gulf, Afghanistan for 2 decades. Those sacrifices just as important as anyone in the Korean War, World War II, or World War I. But the only way children learn is what we teach them. And every day in that silent moment of having a thought of prayer, it helps. It gives you faith. It gives you courage. It gives you strength. And looking at that flag, you realize there have been a lot of people here before you who did a lot of incredible things. All right, stay with us. We're going to get to the news at 7 with David and then Cal McCormick. Blueberry Pharmacy, moments away. Tonight, right here on KDKA, 100.1 FM, AM 1020. It's your Pratt Pack.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
Well, folks, fall is fast approaching, and the September Weiner Wellness Weekend is the 19th and 20th with workshops from 10 to 2 on Friday and Saturday featuring Dr. Tracy Stroop, Dr. Len Branswitz, and Dr. Dennis Courtney. A delicious, healthy lunch will be provided from 11 to 2, and, of course, lots of samples, healthy treats, all in honor of Jamie Dorley's birthday. The discounts on your favorite supplements start August 25th. All of this is the World of Wellness, 2419 Baldwick Road, Pittsburgh. That's 2419 Baldwick Road, Pittsburgh.
If you are new to Medicare and have questions, Aetna can help. Aetna has a Medicare Advantage plan that includes prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plan includes benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-833-771-3415 to learn more. A licensed agent will answer your call.
Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our DSMPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 72 degrees at 7 o'clock. I'm David Colorado. The news is brought to you by PJ Fitzpatrick. 45 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews. TrustPJ.com. Residents of a Squirrel Hill apartment building that went up in flames today are considering what their next moves will be. The 4-alarm fire on the 5600 block of Forward Avenue broke out just before 8:30 this morning. Everyone made it out safely, but News Radio KDKA's Tamara Rush, who spent hours on the site today, says the intensity of the fire quickly became very clear.
It was like crumbling. You can hear the top of the building crumbling once the fire continued to rage. It was just like coming down. You just watched it collapse and you knew at that particular time that, hey, this building is done for. There's nothing that you can do to salvage a building like that.
The fire broke out in the 3rd floor, and an electrical fire also broke out in the building's basement. Pittsburgh police say they're working with the FBI after a number of local synagogues received letters that contained vague threats against the Pittsburgh Jewish community. The Jewish Federation of Pittsburgh says while the letters are deeply disturbing, they want to assure the Jewish community that safety and security remain their top priority. Echoing that, a statement from Alan Hausman, the president of Tree of Life, who said safety and security are their top priorities as they gear up to celebrate the upcoming Jewish holidays. The Federation says it continues to monitor the situation closely and is working to ensure that all Jewish institutions in Pittsburgh remain protected. Plans have been unveiled for an expansion of the intermediate school building at the Seneca Valley School District. John Pappas of Eccles Construction says the $165 million project, to be done in phases, would connect a portion of its current academic area to the neighboring senior high school building through a new 3-story addition.
That'll be done as kind of the first phase of the project. Then a portion of the classroom area of the existing intermediate high school will be raised and allow for a new performing arts center to be included, which will also connect back into the existing high school.
The Justice Department has filed a federal criminal charge against the man accused of the deadly stabbing of Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska in Charlotte, North Carolina last month. The Justice Department announced that the suspect in the attack, DeCarlos Brown Jr., is charged with one count of committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system. Russ Ferguson is U.S. Attorney for the Western District of North Carolina with more on the suspect.
This person cannot be allowed on the streets. He cannot be allowed on our trains. So whether he is involuntarily committed or he is behind bars for a violent act, he should not be on the streets of Charlotte.
The reevaluation of employment data shows troubling news about the jobs market. The report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows the economy added 911,000 fewer jobs over 12 months ending in March than what had been reported. Revisions are not uncommon, but this is the largest revision ever. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady has more on what that means.
We have these annual revisions every single year, and this was April 2024 to March 2025, right? So this is basically 10 months of the Biden administration, first 2 months of the Trump administration. This was, though, the biggest on record, though. So this is that's why it was so eye-popping. What this tells us about the U.S. economy is that the slowdown that we have seen in the job market, we talked about it on Friday, right? We've seen it for 4 straight months, actually began quite some time ago.
KDKA Sports, the Pirates are in Baltimore right now where they're tied with the Orioles 1 apiece at the bottom of the second. KDK Radio News Time 7:03. I'm David Bolorado. Our next update's at 7:30 right here on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDKA.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
Planning a vacation can be fun, but don't get taken by service fees and processing fees. SWAC Vacations lets you book direct. SWAC owns its own properties. The price you see is the price you pay. Michael Bartley here. My friend Jeff is the owner of SWAC, and you can trust you're going to get the best deal possible. That means more money for your family trip to Myrtle Beach, a luxury lodge in Deep Creek, or that massive Outer Banks house with room for everyone. Book direct. Save at SWACvacations.com. That's SWACK Vacations.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mainly clear and cool again for tonight. We'll get down to 49 for an overnight low. There will be some areas of fog late tonight into early tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly sunny. A high tomorrow, 76. And lots of sunshine again Thursday. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market team, discussing quick and easy budget-friendly meals. It's the Coons Cooking Hour, presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer. The following is paid for by Blueberry Pharmacy. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, the older I get, the more I like to save money. I like to watch it grow, and this guy can do that and more. They remove that person in the middle, so what does it do? It gives the savings back to you on some of the most important life-saving drugs. every day that the price seems to go up. Not the case with Blueberry Pharmacy. Cal McCormick is here. We have a lot to get to. You kind of heard a little bit of the show on the way in, and I was saluting those firefighters and the real heroes of our community and talking about service. And I've been discussing that in recent days, work ethic and that type of thing. So I got to ask you, I've always been in awe of people that are pharmacists because it's a really high, intense, pressure-oriented job, but it's a job of helping people, and that's what you do every day at Blueberry Pharmacy. But what made you, Cal McCormick, want to become a pharmacist? Good evening.
Good evening. Hit me with the hard ones early.
Yeah, I'm going right for it.
Yeah, I honestly, you know, if I think back now, almost 20 years, that's crazy, but I don't exactly recall. I do know that the most influential thing was my close friend in high school. Her mom was the owner of our local pharmacy that I first got a job at.
Right.
And so I just asked, hey, you know, I think I might be interested. I like the sciences. Could I shadow your mom for, you know, an hour or so? And she agreed, and I just got to see how she interacted with members of the community, how she, you know, took care of them, intervened whenever there were issues, and it just seemed like it was a good fit. You know, I didn't really explore many other career paths beyond that, so you know, it was between that or chemical engineering. You know, I did those surveys, early internet surveys of like, what should my career be? Like, answer some questions, and those two registered pretty high on the survey results. So
well,
it fit well.
It's ironic, you know. There are certain professions that I really do appreciate, and you probably have never met anybody. But back in the day, I actually used to do a sports talk show at a pharmacist in Monaca, actually do it in there, and we would meet people, and I would watch this person work. And long before that person, when I was a child going to the local pharmacy with my parents, or that pharmacist coming to our house to help one of my 5 sisters or me with an earache or whatever after, you know, business hours. And you remind me a lot of those throwbacks and really care about people. I've heard you engage with people. I talked to you on the show that you're the type who'll come down from behind the counter and help somebody and explain everything. And you do it every day via email, via text messages, or simply by calling where there's no press 1 for this, press 2 for that. But you have to admit, being a pharmacist may be one of the last things that is truly all about service. And with the big box stores, you don't really get that, but you get it at Blueberry Pharmacy. But what you really get, you don't get the prices of the big box store. So you really are onto something, but it has to be coming from the heart to put as much passion into it as you do.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, you know, really the differentiator, yes, on price, but, you know, if you shop around enough, you can find low prices on even drugs, right? And so I really do believe, especially long term, our key differentiator will be our service. You know, because if a chain decides to adopt pricing models similar to ours, they actually do the cost plus model that we innovated 6 years ago. Great, they can do it. They might even outcompete us on price on some things. But the key difference is us taking the time, spending that time with you. I just had somebody today who was on a proton pump inhibitor, something for acid reflux. And I was filling some other medication for her, and she was discussing how she took her meds throughout the day. I was saying, like, that one really shouldn't be taken. It should be taken on an empty stomach and whatnot. And again, not medical advice. Call the pharmacy if you want to discuss this further if you're on a proton pump inhibitor. But anyhow, long story short, she said, nobody's ever told me that. I've been on that medication for 2 years now, and nobody's ever taken the time to tell me about that. I wasn't even filling that medication for her. And so that's really what we do differently, is we actually have conversations with people, learn about their medical, you know, needs, their prescription needs, actually intervene and charge fair prices. At the end of the day, a lot of people do come to us for price, but it's certainly not what we want to win out on. We want to win on price and have people stay for service.
Even I have noticed this. Insurance premiums are soaring. Talk about this a little bit. These are really difference makers, especially for people who are on a fixed income.
Yeah, and you haven't even seen it yet.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah, these numbers are for next year. This is 2026. This just came out from the Financial Times this past week. And I've heard a lot of things talking about 2027 for Medicare. So not 2026 per se, but 2026. The Financial Times piece yesterday said employer plans expect a 6.5% increase. The ACA plans, so the marketplace, penny.com. Exchange plans expect up to an 18% increase. In some states, actually seeing a proposed hikes as high as 54% increase.
That'll cripple people.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it in the second half, but it's just unsustainable. I mean, the piece talked about what's contributing to it. The big thing mentioned and timely and whatnot, it talks about tariffs. We talked about it last segment, how generic space, we really don't see that impact. In fact, if anything, might help reshore some of the supply chain, especially in generics, especially around antibiotics, things like that. And if we do see some price increases due to tariffs, it's not going to be significant.
Well,
generics.
I think Big Pharma, and this is my opinion only, I think sometimes their prices have always been high. They kind of look for reasons that they can push the blame on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you agree with me?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, they could already lower prices if we just got rid of what are called rebates that pharma pays to pharmacy benefit managers. I think I shared this at some point in the past, too. The CEO of Novo testified before Congress saying 74 cents out of every dollar of the cost of one of our big drugs is a rebate paid from the manufacturer to the PBM in order to get it put on formulary. So what's that mean? If we didn't have that whole system where it's a pay to play, the drug could actually be 26% of its cost.
Well, then explain this to me. Many people in your position that I've known through the years that are standalone owners. Mm-hmm. Why does it take so long to get paid from the insurance company, meaning you?
Oh, yeah.
Why does that happen?
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, what you're alluding to, Rob, is alluding to here is pharmacies, what cripples them is actually cash flow. And so what that means is the time it takes for them to bill that claim to your insurance company and then actually receive payment from that insurance company can vary anywhere from on the low end a week to on the high end 4 weeks. And why that's crippling to an insurance company is a lot of people may have, on a $500 drug, they might have a $50 copay. Some people even a $20 copay. Well, the drug still costs the pharmacy $500. So they have to shell out $500. They only get paid $20, $50.
You have to pay the freight before you get the money reimbursed.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So and that's actually one of the issues with Rite Aid towards the end of its days is that their wholesalers gave them, I think, pretty much same-day line of credit. Whereas most pharmacies, though, they might have a 2-week line of credit with their wholesalers. Still not enough for that average payment, which is about 3 to 4 weeks from the third party. So, yeah, they have to shell out the cost of the drug before they actually get the reimbursement.
What you all need to do before we get to 2026, you got to call wherever your stuff is and say, let's get it to Blueberry Pharmacy. You can call them at 412-612-2279, 412-612-2279, blueberrypharmacy.com. Cal McCormick is here. We're going to come back. And we're going to continue to navigate these rough waters when it comes to what you're paying for your prescriptions and how they can save you money, time, and give you an effort that you will not find anywhere else. BlueberryPharmacy.com, Cal McCormick, 412-612-2279. We'll be back.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read Lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding. Congratulations, Joe. Triple Crown winner from Owens Corning.
Yes, Larry. We are proud to announce that we are recognized for service excellence, product excellence, and MVP based on marketing leadership and customer service.
Call Joe and his team, you'll get the best of the best. Get a free estimate for roof and siding replacements. Call the roofing replacement experts at JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711. Congrats, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, be sure to tune into the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors, Saturdays at 1. Beth talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Don't go into retirement unprepared. Listen every Saturday afternoon at 1 to the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors. Firm offers insurance services. Net Worth Advisors, LLC, is a registered investment advisor.
Pittsburgh. Are you ready to relive the magic? Almost Queen, a tribute to Queen, is taking the stage at Rivers Casino on Friday, September 19th. Experience the look, the power, and all the legendary hits all in one place. From Bohemian Rhapsody to Another One Bites the Dust, you'll be dancing all night long. Visit riverscasino.com for tickets. And don't miss Almost Queen, a tribute to Queen live. We'll see you there.
Long live the king. Return to the magic and mystique of the Renaissance. The Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival is back. 6 magical weekends through September 28th.
It's entertainment. It's fantasy.
It's an adventure. To the past.
Filled with royalty, pageantry, jugglers, and musicians. Comedy, games, fine arts, and crafts. Eat, drink, and be merry at the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival. Discount tickets available at pittsburghrenfest.com.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I think when I retire, I'm going to go be one of their helpers at Blueberry. This stuff amazes me, and I'm so glad that he's doing this show. I'm so glad that MediConnect introduced me to him, because I know we're helping people in real time. If you thought that first segment with Cal McCormick Blueberry Pharmacy was interesting, wait to what we have in store for you now. We're going to talk about Canada versus the U.S. And Estro, this is a heart medication, what the brand price is, what they can do with a generic, cost plus steady while insurers cite tariffs. We talked a little bit about that earlier. So talk about this heart medicine, but first talk about Canada. For some reason, everybody thinks Canada is the place to go north of the border when it comes to their prescriptions. Again, let me give you their number. You're going to want to write this down and make the call even before the hour is up. 412-612-2279. Let's begin with Canada versus local. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and there's a reason why people seek out lower costs, and that sometimes for some patients that actually means going international. There are challenges to that, though. Just today, we actually talked to a patient who was getting a medication from Canada. It got stuck in customs, so now they're without their medication. So it's really frustrating. It's really kind of crazy because, even locally, it could get lost in the mail or something like that.
Yeah, but we don't have the best relations right now with Canada either.
That's the other concern with it is the tariffs and whatnot. So the reality is that patient is able to get medication through us for just $31, so they don't even need to go to Canada anymore. So a lot of people are realizing that, especially I talked about rebates, even on brand drugs. So if you're looking to get a brand name drug from Canada, if we just got rid of rebates, if pharma and pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs as they're called, if they just got rid of the rebate game, we'd see hardly anybody would have a reason to go to Canada, because you'd be able to access all those prices at the same, similar prices here in America, even on brand name drugs. So, that's Canada versus cost plus, especially in generics. Our prices are lower than Canada's prices, and especially one that you mentioned. It's a heart medication that a lot of patients are on. It's a top 10 drug that's spent by Medicare in 2023, I think it was. It's called Entresto. It just went generic this year, but it's part of the 10 drugs that Medicare negotiated for next year's 2026 calendar year. And I think they negotiated something like $200 some for this medication.
Is this a monthly medication?
Monthly medication.
Okay.
Just, today at Blueberry Pharmacy, a patient, Medicare, no Medicare, insurance, no insurance, we sell that medication for just $29 a month, $30 a month.
Okay, Cal, look, how's that possible from $500 the brand to your price under $30? How's
the
that?
beautiful thing about generics, and so whenever a generic comes to market, we go from one manufacturer now to say 3, 6, 7 manufacturers of that same medication. So now you have a lot of price competition. You have the marketplace at play, where one manufacturer can undercut the other manufacturer, So you see this price falling in real time. Just a month ago, 2 months ago when we first talked, when Entresto first launched as a generic, our price was like $80 some. Then it went to $45. Now it's down to $30. It'll keep falling too. And that's the beautiful thing about the marketplace of generic medications.
And that's why we're doing this show. So 412-612-2279, blueberrypharmacy.com. Before we move on and talk about the misuse of insurance, let's talk about how people can actually right now in real time listening switch over to your pharmacy.
Yeah. Switching a pharmacy is maybe easier than you might think. There's a transfer process. And so a patient really doesn't need to do much for a transfer of their medication. If they have a prescription at another pharmacy, it's simple. They just call us, give us their name, their date of birth. Maybe sometimes we need an address. That way they can verify at the pharmacy who the patient is. We call that pharmacy, give that information. They fax us the prescription or give us a verbal transfer. And now that prescription's at our pharmacy. So it's just a matter of a quick phone call, quick fax, and that's all it is.
And I'm not singling anybody out, but I have to ask you this because this is what you do. Why is it at the big box stores, service is slowed way down? Lines are longer, time waiting is much more longer, and just trying to get somebody on the phone in the pharmacy. Why is that happening?
Yeah, without singling anybody out, you have this vertically integrated system where the insurance company also owns the pharmacy. And they can dictate your plan benefits and, say, hey, this medication's only free if you go to this pharmacy. It's lowest price if you go to this pharmacy that we happen to own too. And so they drive customers to their own pharmacies. So they don't necessarily need to reinvest money in order to provide a better service because the patient feels trapped. They feel like they have to go there anyhow. And so they continue to go there. And so, repeat. And that's where you end up with a scenario where you literally can't even call and talk to somebody at some of these pharmacies. Like the phone tree isn't even set up to really talk to a human. You have to leave a voicemail. They'll get back to you eventually. And so a lot of it has to do with this third-party based system where, and then the vertical integration on top of that drives patients into their own funnel and keeps them there, even if the customer experience is poor. And so the reality is, though, patients can shop around. Patients can go wherever they want. Yes, the copays may look a little different from pharmacy to pharmacy, but you might find that it might even be worthwhile spending a little extra money to get told when to take their medications, to make sure that they're safe and effective for you. Sometimes that's worth paying a little bit more for.
Are you worried? We were talking about lack of numbers in various service industries that we're familiar with on my show earlier, and I have been for days. With the high pressure that a pharmacist is under today, working the way they are, and the techs, do you fear that maybe someday there could be a shortage of pharmacists and techs in the industry?
There's already a shortage of people that want to work in those settings, the high volume, no breaks, just kind of nonstop environment. And so that's why you see some pharmacies across the country over the past 2 years have closed down for specific days or even weeks because they couldn't get enough help. That's not because there's a shortage of pharmacists. In fact, there's, outside of the last 2 or 3 years, there's never been more pharmacy schools in the country. Now there's starting to be somewhat of a decline in the applicants to the pharmacy schools. There's certainly not a shortage of pharmacists. There's a shortage of pharmacists and technicians that want to work in those environments.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk misuse of insurance, but we got a minute before the break, just enough time for you to talk about Blueberry Pharmacy, what you do, and then I'm going to give them the number and how they can contact you. Go ahead.
Sure, yeah. We're Blueberry Pharmacy. We're located in the North Hills of Pittsburgh, where, as everybody says, the Westview Park used to be.
That's exactly
and now
right.
It's the Westview Shopping Plaza. We certainly offer pickup for patients that live locally, but we also can deliver all throughout Pennsylvania. and the surrounding states. And so, like we were talking about just now, if patients want to reach out, they can check their prices on our website, blueberrypharmacy.com. There's a check prices button. They can transfer their prescription via the website or by calling us or emailing us or texting our phone number. You can text that phone number as well.
412-612-2279. 412-612-2279. Cal McCormick, Blueberry Pharmacy. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Fire doesn't wait, and neither should you. When disaster strikes, call Service Master of Greater Pittsburgh. Fire damage? Demand the yellow van.
Demand the yellow van. Call Service Master.
This back-to-school season, Independence Health System reminds you a healthy start sets the tone for a successful school year. Now's the perfect time to schedule wellness visits for your child and yourself. These checkups help catch health concerns early, support development, and give you peace of mind. Don't wait. Book your appointment today. Visit independence.health to find a trusted doctor near you. Expert care here.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Wednesday night at 10, join us for I'm Listening, a special Odyssey program featuring some of the biggest names in news, sports, and music, and some of the most respected mental health professionals. Hosted by Carson Daly with Katie Neal. Talk saves lives. For more information, visit imlistening.org.
Brought to you by the Prasad Center, advancing the mental health needs of the region with pride and promise for over 50 years.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 71 degrees at 7:30. I'm David Colorado. It's been a long day for firefighters who are handling a 4-alarm fire that destroyed a Squirrel Hill apartment building today. Smoke from the fire could be seen from miles away from the burning building on the 5600 block of Forward Avenue near the Squirrel Hill interchange with the Parkway East. The flames broke out around 8:30 this morning on the 3rd floor of the building. News Radio KDKA's Tamara Rush was on the scene for hours when she arrived to find ladders with hoses aimed at the blaze.
Gerald Jones made a decision to not allow the firefighters to go inside the building, but it was raging. It was overwhelming to me standing there.
No one was injured in the fire. It took 73 firefighters from 17 companies to bring that fire under control. Pittsburgh police and the FBI are investigating a series of letters that was sent to local synagogues. Pittsburgh police say the letters contain what they characterize as vague threats against the local Jewish community. The Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh issued a statement calling those letters deeply disturbing. It says it's in close contact with law enforcement as the investigation into the threats continues, and that its security team is working to ensure that all Jewish institutions remain protected. They've unveiled plans for the $165 million expansion at Seneca Valley School District's intermediate school. The plan calls for connecting the intermediate school with the neighboring high school and including a new performing arts area. John Pappas of Eccles Construction says the project will go out to bids in the next month or so, with contracts being awarded by the end of the year. The first phase would be to build the new academic area.
And so we're looking at an initial move to kind of move the classroom areas into the new space summer of 2028. And then the existing portion of the building will be demolished, which will allow then for the auditorium and kind of connecting spaces to be done with a completion more of summer of 2030.
KDKA Sports, the Bucks and Orioles are playing in Baltimore right now, where it's the bottom of the fourth, and the two teams are tied at 1 run apiece. KDK Radio News Time 7:31. Our next update's at 8 o'clock. I'm David Ballarado on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDKA.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
Make 380 Auction to Murraysville your next stop for discounts and bargains. Trucks come in every week. 380 Auction has name brand furniture, fall moms, also tools, birdseed, automotive supplies, pet supplies, lawn and garden, toys, food, and new items arriving daily. 380 Auction is open Tuesday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or call 724-339-3132. That's 724-339-3132 or log on to shop380.com and save.
Summer storms can spell disaster for your roof and more. At Home Genius Exteriors, we stop the damage before it starts. Call now during our summer savings event and get 50% off materials for your new roof. Plus, get no interest and no payments till 2027. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855-UR-GENIUS to schedule your free roof and attic inspection. That's 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing. See website for details.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
With a mostly clear sky tonight, there will be some areas of fog later on, a low of 49. A lot of sunshine tomorrow after a foggy start for some, a high of 76. Clear tomorrow night, a low of 53. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hi, this is elder law attorney Carl Zachariah. Betty called me last week because her mother's in a nursing home and had given her $30,000 2 years ago. I told her that 5-year look back will not apply. We can get it fixed. Call Zachariah Brown at 724-942-6200 or visit PittsburghElderLaw.com.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at KennyRoss.com.
The following is paid for by Blueberry Pharmacy.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, Cal McCormick explaining why you need to go to blueberrypharmacy.com. Call them, 412, text them, 612-2279, 412-612-2279. Let's talk about insurance and the misuse of it, and there's a whole lot of stuff here you need to hear. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if you think about insurance, if you ask any economist what insurance is intended for, it's supposed to be used for high-cost unknown events. Think about car insurance.
Right.
What do you buy it for?
Just in case.
Just in case you get in an accident.
Right.
You ever think about using your car insurance for your oil change, for your gasoline, for your windshield wipers? Those are routine maintenance events.
Right.
That are low cost, that you just, pay for out of your own pocket. And what happens every time you use your car insurance?
Goes up.
Premium goes up,
Yeah,
right?
it does. Oh.
Directly proportional to the amount of times you use it.
And you'll see when those little children grow up.
Yeah.
It really goes
It's
up.
higher, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you use your home insurance for?
God forbid.
Yeah, a very catastrophic event, right? Yet in healthcare, you can't interact with the system. In fact, the first question, you go anywhere in healthcare, you're just trying to get a simple, PCP visit. What insurance do you have? It's the very first question they ask you.
Always.
And so we actually have a bad insurance product. If you think about what insurance is intended for from an economic standpoint, it is not insurance as a principle, as a philosophy, is there to protect against high cost unknown events. Think car accidents, think, fires, think bad things. It's there for the ambulance visit, not necessarily for every little thing that's ambulatory, that's, low cost, predictable expenses, like an oil change for your car.
Right.
In fact, I take the analogy even further. If you think about a car as a vehicle that you move throughout life, what is a more important vehicle that you move throughout life?
Your body.
Your body, exactly. And so, just doing things like going to the PCP, getting prescriptions that you're going to use every day for the rest of your life, those are low-cost routine events that you actually achieve lower prices by not using your insurance. Because as you correctly stated earlier, what happens every time you use your car insurance?
Goes up.
The premium goes up. So why is it, as to our earlier segment, why we're seeing the highest premium increases in 15 years? It's because we're using our insurance for way too much. We'd actually have lower costs if we just stopped using insurance for these low-cost routine events. I know patients will be like, well, it's a $0 copay. That's like using your car insurance. That's what is leading to your price going up, because on the back end of that $0 copay, your insurance is paying more. So the next year they have to recoup what they paid and raise your premiums. So yes, things like $0 copays, things like, $5 copays, they may seem great, but they're not great. That's why premiums are going up, is because the more we use it, the more premiums go up.
Do you think the average person, and you've educated me so much, and my friends at MediConnect each and every week in that 9 o'clock hour, you think the average person understands really how insurance even works?
I think they do in other segments. I think if you ask anybody, when do you use your life insurance? When I die. Why don't you use it all throughout life? Right? When did you use your car insurance last? Oh, whenever I got in that accident 2 years ago. They understand insurance products in every other sector except in healthcare.
So when I was really young, in my early 30s, started having kids, I went and got that $1 million life insurance policy. Mm-hmm. And I'm now 68, so it's run its course as of 5 years ago. And I made that big premium payment every single month. And somebody said, well, did you get that universal plan that you actually get something if you make it to this age in return? Kind of like good grace cash coming back to us. No. So I basically paid for 30 plus years.
So I mean, there's bad insurance products everywhere.
Right. So you got to pay attention. But what I'm saying is, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
So people need to get educated.
You're absolutely right.
And that's what you all do.
Yeah, and there are bad insurance products across all sectors, but are particularly in healthcare. Insurance, if you think about, and so you've shared some of these stories too, where if insurance is intended to protect you against a catastrophic event, why is it that whenever people actually have a catastrophic event happen, they go bankrupt? It's not actually serving its purpose because we have bad insurance products. Because if it were serving its purpose, if people had catastrophic health events happen to them, they wouldn't go bankrupt. In fact, a lot of insurance plans, they'll only cover cheap stuff. And that's what you could afford out of pocket. So to your question about, do you think people understand it? I think The challenge is people don't see prices.
Right.
So they don't know that they could get cheaper prices by not using their insurance. They don't know, unlike in car insurance world where you know what you can see on a marquee or something, inspections X amount here, gas X amount here.
A menu board.
There's not that in healthcare.
But some people have tried it, but why do you think it hasn't taken off yet?
I think because...
it's not profitable?
I think...
for big business.
It is. Yeah, I think... It's more profitable to do it the other way.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they get, miss the overcharging a third party, and so they just keep overcharging third parties. I think I shared before, one of our great examples is the average price of this one medication we fill for our prostate cancer. Medicare paid in 2023 $3,000 per month to pharmacies to fill that drug. So the pharmacy was making, it cost the pharmacy $100. So that pharmacy was making $2,900 a month filling that drug. Why would they want to change that business model, right? Now that's not the case anymore. Now pharmacies are hurting, going out of it. So they've got to innovate. They've got to realize, well, this isn't working. The traditional model isn't working. It's not working for patients. It's not working for pharmacies. Who's it working for? It's working for the insurance companies. So let's rethink things. Let's educate the patients as to why this doesn't make sense anymore.
So you basically are taking care of the next three segments. Amazing talent, this guy. And I'm looking at our outline here. He's incredible. He's ahead of me, but it all makes sense. 412-612-2279. Call, text that number, blueberrypharmacy.com. Get your prescriptions sent there. Get it done. Save money. How many times a day do you see people smile when they come in? Or over the phone or text you when they're like, what? I can't believe it. I mean, even brought to tears, because the older you get, the money doesn't stretch as far. And if you're retired, and many people living on that single source of income, their Social Security, every single cent counts. Every day.
Yeah, no. Patient satisfaction is our number one metric. I don't care so much about saving people's money is great. Making, keeping the business open is great. But one of the most satisfactory things is like a nice text message from somebody. And the other day we have like a text feed that we have among the three pharmacists that we have. It's a HIPAA secure text messaging thing that we use in store. And we got 3 text messages after we closed that were just one right after the other. Just thank you so much for the great service you offer. And I was like, we're not even open if you are thanking us. So it's really, it is rewarding. It's some of the most rewarding, work is just going and, trying to do our best to help people.
All right, tell them how it works at Blueberry, just to let them know what this whole cost plus thing is about. Go ahead.
Yeah, so unlike other pharmacies where they make up prices and, you don't know until you go and hand them 3 different cards at the counter and wait for them to bill those cards. At our pharmacy, you know the price up front. You go to our website, you go click on check prices. You can see the price of the medication before it's even prescribed to you. And then once it's prescribed to you, we take care of the rest. We call you, we go over the medication, we get it sent right to your door, or you can pick it up same day in the pharmacy. And it's just a matter of blueberrypharmacy.com or 412-612-2279.
All right, we'll come back, wrap it up with Cal McCormick, but I'm already anticipating his next visit to KDKA Radio. Great stuff. Text that number, 412-612-2279. Do it now. Don't put it off, 412-612-2279, or go to blueberrypharmacy.com.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
There is treatment for neuropathy. I'm Dr. Dawn Spalla. At Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine, we treat neuropathy patients daily. No drugs, no surgery, just relief. Call 724-224-2224 for a free consultation in our Sarver or Brackenridge locations.
Selling a home doesn't have to be time-consuming or stressful. It should be fair, honest, and fast. Ryan Shalaba here with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh. My team and I will buy your home with cash in its current condition to close on the day you choose. Call 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyersofpittsburgh.com to get a cash offer today.
This is Barry and Steve Ehrenrich from Petite Kitchen and Bath Design Center, and we'd like to say thank you.
Thank you for making Petite the premier kitchen and bath design center and remodeler in Western Pennsylvania.
For over 50 years, you've welcomed us into your homes to help solve your remodeling problems. Our goal is, and always has been, to avoid the nightmare of remodeling. We want to give you the kitchen or bath of your dreams.
Thank you for taking it one step further. You recommended us to your friends. There's no greater statement of satisfaction than to say to a friend, I love my petite kitchen, or I'm so happy with my petite bath. You should call them too.
From custom creation to expert installation, you don't have to go anywhere else. And you didn't. You came to Petite. So, thank you.
And to those of you who haven't been to Petite yet, haven't you waited long enough? PA 625.
Rumble, who spilled the dip dish? Oh, it's football season, tailgate season, and when you're having a little tailgate in your house and people will spill, you need to call Zero Res. Or kids coming in and out, back to school, they got you. Zero Res will clean up the pizza spills, puppy padiddles, and they can get all of that out of your carpets or any of your surfaces. And don't forget your air ducts. This is Larry Richard for Zero Res. Call today. Take advantage of the KDKA special. Pittsburgh's ultimate carpet cleaner is Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning too. Zero Res. Make sure you mention KDKA when you call 412-701-1188. 412-701-1188. Score big with Zero Res. Spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Pennsylvania's statewide tobacco-free recovery initiative supports your local radio station and reminds those in substance use disorder recovery that learning tobacco-free coping skills improves the chance of long-term recovery by 25%, and that more than 70% of Pennsylvanians in recovery believe these skills are helpful for both recovery and mental health. Become tobacco-free recovery strong and learn more at tobaccofreerecoverypa.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Sponsored by the Philadelphia Department of Health.
Folds of Honor has been meeting sacrifice with hope since 2019 in Western Pennsylvania. It's their honor to empower people through education and the opportunities it creates. 41% of Folds of Honor scholarships are awarded to minorities, making the recipient families as diverse as the country we call home. Folds of Honor has earned the Gold Star Platinum Seal as well as a 4 out of 4 stars ranking on Charity Navigator. You can become a Folds of Honor wingman today at westernpa.foldsofonor.org. Please donate today. Spitzer Toyota of Monroeville is a proud supporter of Folds of Honor.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Tune in to KDKA Radio every Thursday at 2:37 p.m. for your weekly Medicare update with Lisa Lauro from Secure Money Health. Lisa will provide you information on everything related to Medicare and how to prepare for it. Brought to you by Secure Money Health.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It's his line, but I'm going to steal it because it's that good. If we used health insurance like we use car insurance for the big, unpredictable events, we'd all save money. Until then, Cost Plus pharmacies are showing that the future is right here in Pittsburgh. So let's do some takeaways with Cal McCormick, Blueberry Pharmacy, 412-612-2279, blueberrypharmacy.com. So some takeaways before we say goodnight. Go ahead.
Yeah, so from our first little segment, we talked about how next year we have premiums increasing at their highest rates in 15 years, driven by our overuse of insurance for every little thing, even the small things. And on the second segment, talking about how, actually, if we just paid out of pocket for all those things, didn't hit our insurance like we would with our car insurance. We'd pay for the small little dent. We'd pay for the oil change, for the gasoline. We actually then prevent those premium increases. And we move towards an insurance product that actually acts a lot more like how insurance should act. And we actually get lower costs as a result. And so I had this breakdown of what happens whenever, in reality, insurance isn't bad. It's intended for the right things. However, it does in practice create warped incentives. So for a patient, if you think about the patient's perspective, using their insurance for these low cost things that they could just pay out of pocket for, they're insulated from those true costs. So you ask, why don't patients know about this? Is because they've never seen that menu board. They don't see until the price transparency of things like GoodRx, things like Us, things like the Walmart $410 list. Patients didn't know cost. They had no concept of cost whenever it came to their prescription drugs because they would just hand over their insurance card and pay what the copay came back as. Now with some of these transparency tools, cost plus pharmacies, discount cards, things like that, they can actually now shop around and see that. Clinicians, the reality is also clinicians may chase what actually they make more money on versus what's actually best for the patient. Things like over-testing, doing another test that might not actually be necessary just because they might get seen or might get extra payment for that. Or saying, hey, your annual wellness visit, we have to schedule that separately from this visit you're here for us today because we have to bill those two things separately. And so you got to come back in a week just for that annual wellness visit. The patient was telling me about this. They were there for already seeing the doctor, and the doctor's like, time for your annual wellness visit. A Medicare requirement. Well, can't we just check on my wellness today? And they're like, well, no,
I'm here.
We got to do that next week so that they can bill for it. So again, it creates these warped incentives for all players, patients, clinicians, and then insurers. They actually profit whenever costs rise because if you think about it, they take a percentage of those costs. So as costs of healthcare rise, and if they're percentage-based payment, they actually make more money every single year as a result. You could see it in all their stock prices. Few things, not even the maker of AI chips, have made as much profit over the last decade as health insurance companies have. And so it just creates all these warped incentives the more we use it for these things that aren't truly insurable. So, call to action tonight, hopefully, I know we've rambled on about insurance companies and hopefully it's been educational. Hopefully you kind of understand a little bit more about why it makes sense to not use your insurance, why it might make sense for you to use the cost plus pharmacy. And the way you go about doing that is just going to our website, checking our prices, giving us a call tomorrow. Somebody will answer the phone, unlike other pharmacies. You won't get a human.
This is what is so unique about what you do. And I've been around a little bit longer than you, about 3 decades more than you. Even if you could maybe click on to some big name who just delivers products to your house and get it, the thing that you're not going to get is that customer service, that voice, that person, a place to go, and actually have someone who can be a part of that timeline with you. No other situation out there. They're either overwhelmed, brick and mortar, or if they're bringing it to you by you clicking on with that mouse on some link, those aren't the people, those aren't the pharmacists coming to your house. So this is why Blueberry Pharmacy works.
Pittsburgh works.
I like that. Can I use that? Anyway, we got exactly 2 minutes and counting. So tell them about Blueberry Pharmacy and our call to action, why you need to move forward and make the switch. Go ahead.
So if you missed the part about how do you go about transferring. So say you checked your prices on our website, blueberrypharmacy.com. You give us a call that we can take the transfer process there. But really, it's just a matter of us knowing your name, your date of birth, what medications you'd like transferred, and what pharmacy they're coming from. And from there, we take it. We go and call that pharmacy. They send us a fax or they give us a verbal transfer. And then we get those prescriptions filled for you. And then we are located in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. So if you're local to us, you're welcome to pick up those prescriptions. But if not, we, over the phone, get everything set up, address, making sure we check for interactions, drug allergies, tell you a little bit about the medication that we'll be sending out to you, counsel you on it. And then we send that on its way. We can ship to 6 different states: Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, New Jersey, Delaware, and Florida. So even our snowbirds, people ask. But the nice thing is, since we're not going through insurance as well, all those different things. Like people are like, oh, I know it's too early, but I'm heading on vacation. Who cares? We'll just fill you 6 months supply. As long as the doctor writes enough quantity for you. We don't have those prior authorizations or those refill too soon alerts. So, we can, get them to you if you're vacationing or if you're down in Florida for the winter. We can get those right to you. But give us a call, 412-612-2279. Check out our website, blueberrypharmacy.com. You can also text that number. Again, that's 412-612-2279.
And we'll do this again real soon, okay?
I love talking to you, Rob.
Believe me, I get educated every time you're here. And being that I am a senior citizen, I'm always looking for those added discounts, too. All right, stay with us. The news coming up with David Ballarado, who's not a senior citizen. He's a great news anchor. And then we're coming back with a guest that you do not want to miss. All for the kids, moments away. KDKA.
The proceeding was paid for by Blueberry Pharmacy. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard on the preceding program.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Summers in Pittsburgh are great, but you don't want to spend it painting, so do what Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home's built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint. And the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house and all the pillars. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
And right now, you can get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
Well, I've told a lot of people do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and that would be the way to go.
And here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Have you been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer? You may qualify for a clinical trial studying an investigational therapy designed to activate your immune system to fight cancer throughout the body. If your prostate cancer has spread and you've received prior hormone therapy, you may be eligible. Take the next step in your fight. Visit Legion100trial.com to learn more or call 1-888-636-5344. That's Legion100trial.com or 1-888-636-5344.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 73 degrees at 8 o'clock. I'm David Ballarado. A massive fire ripped through an apartment building today in Squirrel Hill. News Radio KDKA's Tamira Rush with the latest details.
The fire that raged for hours at the Jefferson apartment building in Pittsburgh's Squirrel Hill neighborhood has finally been brought under control. One wheelchair-bound resident who needed the assistance of several firefighters tells KDKA Radio her cat Jelly is unaccounted for.
The material stuff you can replace with my little kitty. She's only 7 pounds. She has to be scared to death. You can replace the material things, but not the people.
The fire started on the 3rd floor of the building and continued to burn through the roof, causing it to collapse. All residents were accounted for and no injuries were reported. The Salvation Army and Red Cross are assisting displaced residents. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
Police are investigating after a bus with students from the Trinity Area School District was involved in an accident this afternoon. It happened on Burkett Lane shortly before 4 p.m. 10 students were on board at the time. South Strabane officials say one student suffered a minor injury. Some Deer Lake school officials, parents in that district, are upset after the school moved a bus stop to a location that's close to the home of a registered sex offender. KDKA TV's Shelley Bortz has more on that.
Caitlin de Blasio says the new stop is just steps away from where a registered sex offender lives. Her two children, just 7 and 10, wait for the bus there every morning. She says even though she can see the stop from her yard, she refuses to let them walk there alone.
Even though I can see it, I should be able to stand here and watch her, but no, I don't trust it. It's kind of disgusting that he's even allowed to live in their neighborhood. Yeah. Seeing how there's a school right up the hill, there's a park right there. Too many kids.
In an unusual move by the Supreme Court, the justices have agreed to listen to a case regarding the Trump administration's right to apply tariffs. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum explains the court's actions.
This is a remarkably fast turnaround by the Supreme Court, scheduling this case for oral argument in November. The term begins the first Monday in October. But this is yet another case originating out of President Trump's executive orders, and the Supreme Court has ruled on several of these cases under its shadow or emergency docket. At least this case will receive a full briefing and oral argument, premised again on the reach of Trump's executive authority.
Apple today unveiled its latest generation of products during its annual launch event in California. It includes its slimmest phone yet. The iPhone 17, AirPods Pro 3, and Apple Watch Series 11 will all hit the stores on September 19th. The tech giant also debuted its new iPhone Air. Bridget Carey is the editor-at-large for CNET and has more on some of these new features.
In the AirPods Pro 3 that came out, they have some features like being able to also detect your heart rate when you're exercising. You don't need your watch on you. And there's going to be live language translation.
KDKA Sports, the Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles are playing right now in Baltimore. The game is in the bottom of the 6th, and the two teams are tied at 1 apiece. KDK Radio News Time, 8:03. The AccuWeather forecast is coming up next. I'm David Ballarado on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series presented by University of Pittsburgh announces its 25-26 season at Heinz Hall. 7 events will broaden your perspective and deepen your understanding of the world around you. Featuring Dr. Anthony Fauci, Malcolm Gladwell, historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, and National Geographic photographer Christina Mittermeier. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org. Americans spend $66 billion on weight loss products and services each year. And you know what? Right here in our hometown, Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Bitchoff has helped thousands of people do just that. Lose weight, keep it off. In fact, he's been helping people take back control of their lives for more than 20 years here in Pittsburgh at the PA Hypnosis Center. You have an opportunity to do the same. Are you battling anxiety? So many people are. He can help you with that. If you want to quit smoking, Dan Bitchoff is the call you should make at the PA Hypnosis Center today. Schedule your pre-consultation at 724-934-8446, 724-934-8446. Dan can help you reach your goal with a 98% success guarantee. 724-934-8446. Call now.
Have some exterior home improvement problems and just don't know who to call? Call PJ Fitzpatrick to diagnose and fix your problems. PJ will come to your home with a complete shop on their truck, and they can fix it all on the same day. Poorly sealed windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, and leaking roofs. This is the time to call the home repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. Visit them at trustpj.com. With over 45 years of experience, they'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com and stay off the ladders.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mainly clear and cool again for tonight. We'll get down to 49 for an overnight low. There will be some areas of fog late tonight into early tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly sunny. A high tomorrow, 76. And lots of sunshine again Thursday. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, here we go. The 8 o'clock hour underway. You know, I've been at this job for 4 decades, and every time I find out that I think I know everything, I find out I don't. There are good people doing big things, making a big difference every day. So I've been leaning in lately on, well, tickets for kids' charities. And I thought this would be an appropriate time because of an event they have coming up at a really cool venue later this month on the 17th to have the executive director drop by. So let's welcome Brandis Miller. She joins us now on the Metropolitan Window video screen. You can see it and hear it stream live by going to kdkradio.com and KDKA Watch. It's great to have you here. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. Tell me a little bit about Tickets for Kids charities. Go ahead.
Tickets for Kids is a nonprofit organization based in Pittsburgh but operating nationally. And we distribute tickets to children from low-income or at-risk backgrounds to sporting events, cultural events, museums, basically any event that has a price that would prevent a child from attending.
You know, and what this does, Brandis, it gives them some culture, some history. They get a chance to learn about things going on in and around their community that otherwise they wouldn't have an opportunity, right?
That's correct. And I also feel like they get a great chance to engage in career exploration, seeing all of the different jobs that take place to put an event on. They get a sense of inclusion and get access to events that their wealthier peers regularly attend so that they can talk about those experiences when they go back to school. And they also get the opportunity to learn a lot of soft skills, things that a lot of people take for granted, such as going up an escalator, getting on an elevator, and kind of the social etiquette that goes along with that. So we believe it is much more than a ticket, and that is kind of a tagline that we use frequently.
Well, it could also be a ticket to their future because it could show them a career path, something that may, like radio. When I basically had that tour of a radio station many, many, many years ago, it kind of lit the fire that got me interested in what I've been doing my entire life, right?
Yes, and we actually have several instances of that we know have occurred. We have a kid who previously received a ticket to a Pirates game that now works in Pirates security, and a child who attended an event at the National Aviary and now works as a docent there.
Pretty cool stuff. So tell me the history of this charity. So who, what, when, where, why, and how did it all begin?
Tickets for Kids Charities was founded by Bruce and Susan Weiner. They were a couple operating in the property development space in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they had tickets to an event, and they knew that their friends had tickets next to them, and their friends' tickets went unused, and they just kind of wondered, why wouldn't they have provided those tickets to somebody that could use them? Why wouldn't they have just given them away? And that sparked the idea in Susan, who was really the mastermind behind Tickets for Kids. And we've been operating, thanks to Susan's guidance and support for the last 30 years.
Well, it's a gift that definitely keeps on giving, for sure. Before we talk about this big event, how can the average person who wants to step up, help out, or maybe has a really cool ticket that may be the golden ticket for what you all do, how can they help?
Well, we always accept tickets, and we are happy to accept them directly from teams or from corporations that have boxes that may be going unused for events, or from individuals who hold season tickets. But we also have a critical need for financial resources. We can't pay our staff in tickets, and so it takes money to have the talent and technology to make our program really go.
Well, listen, you couldn't be doing this at a better event. So many years ago, when I was doing many television shows, I actually filmed one on location because of my friend Joe Smith, Dollar Bank, who's still a good friend to this day, Beaver County connection. He from Hopewell, I from New Brighton. I'm at an event, Brandis, here a couple of weeks ago at the Beaver Museum, the train station in Beaver, Pennsylvania. And lo and behold, there was Joe. And it was just so nice to see him. And they loved the brand, born here, headquartered here, huge fan of Dollar Bank. But I'd never seen the rooftop, and you guys actually streamed some video where this event's going to be. That's a breathtaking piece of scenery, is it not?
It is unbelievable, and it goes around more than half of the roof of Dollar Bank. So you can see it all the way from Acrisure Stadium over to Station Square. Absolutely beautiful, and the forecast is looking great for next Wednesday when the event is being held. It looks like it should be sunny and in the 80s, and so I think people are going to have a really great opportunity to get some outside time with a view that they don't frequently see. And we're very thankful to Dollar Bank for providing the space free of charge so that we can really turn this into a valuable fundraising event, and also UPMC and UPMC Health Plan for helping to cover some of the food and beverage costs of the event.
Good people, big part of our community all the way around. So Friend Raiser Happy Hour, Wednesday, September 17th. Give me all the juicy details. What do you got?
Well, the plan is for everybody to show up at 5 and start mingling. It has a very limited formal portion of the event. I'll be speaking for a very brief period of time, trying to, shake the coins out of people's pockets. And the rest of the time, we hope it's just a really engaging room that's filled with agency partners who frequently receive tickets from us, ticket donors who provide those tickets, monetary donors, and then, of course, just some friends of the organization that help us out from time to time. I think it's very valuable for our ticket donors to get to hear directly from some of the organizations that receive tickets from us as to the impact. They can sometimes tell the story a little bit better than we can because they're closer to the ground.
Listen, I'm a baby boomer, so when I grew up, it was Christmas or your birthday, and I remember my parents would dig deep to give us certain things, those big ticket items, and it was about the expression on our face as much as it was their face, and then becoming a parent and a grandparent, there's nothing like being able to gift your child something. What's it like being able to do what you do every day and put these tickets into the hands of some young people who really never thought they'd ever have a chance to attend some of these events? That must be so rewarding.
Well, I'll tell you that I buy tissues for the office in bulk because I often shed a few tears at least whenever I open up the mail and we get some of these amazing thank you cards. And we do actually have parents on occasion who send us thank yous that say that they had nothing but the tickets we provided for their kid's birthday or for Christmas. So that is always really powerful as well. But I started at Tickets for Kids because of what you mentioned. I previously worked at the YMCA of Greater Pittsburgh and was tasked with setting up a trip for 900 kids from the Y's day camp and child care programs to attend a Pirate game. And I really was not particularly interested in Tickets for Kids or its mission at that time. And when I walked in that stadium and saw the looks on the faces of those kids and what that experience meant to them and what it was like for them to see the inside of PNC Park, one of the things that we say a lot around Tickets for Kids is that, we like to provide tickets to the kids who live in the shadows of our greatest venues, but rarely get the chance to step inside. And the looks on the faces of those kids really, really validated that saying for me. And that's when I decided I needed to work at this organization.
Listen, field trips were big when I was a kid in the 60s, and I remember going to the Civic Arena for the first time and letting go a helium balloon and watching it raise all the way to the top of that dome. And here I am all these years later, and when I started to lean in on finding out what you all do, it took me back to that bus trip going through the Fort Pitt tunnels and seeing that magnificent venue for the first time. So all in on what you do. So one more time before you go, tell folks about the charity, about the event, and how they can step up and help out. Go ahead.
All right, Tickets for Kids Charities. And again, we're a nonprofit organization. We serve more than 600 nonprofit organizations in the Pittsburgh area by providing them with experiences for the kids that they serve. Our event is being held on the rooftop of Dollar Bank on Wednesday, September 17th from 5 to 7. You can purchase tickets on our website at www.ticketsforkids.org. Click on News and Events. The tickets are only $35, and you get a couple drinks and a lot of really fun snacks and a good time. So please register and come.
Listen, you got my contact information now, so anything I can ever do to help out, do not reach out because I'll be more than happy to help you anytime, okay?
Well, great. If you're not on the radio next Wednesday night, come on over.
If I wasn't, I might just do that because that venue, I'm telling you, I thought I'd been to every nook and cranny of Pittsburgh. It was breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. You see any of my friends from Dollar Bank, please tell them I said hello, okay?
I will, and just take a whole PTO day. The Pirates have a day game that day that was strategically scheduled on our part in hopes that we could kind of coach some people over from the park. So just take the whole day off.
Listen, sounds good to me. Hey, have a great rest of your night, okay?
Thanks, you as well.
All right, Brandis Miller there. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We have lots to get into. Plus, we have the treasurer for the state of Pennsylvania and gubernatorial candidate Stacey Garrity coming up after the CBS Radio News at 8:30. And then it's your calls until 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night with your Pratt Pack at KDKA.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Well, folks, fall is fast approaching, and the September Weiner Wellness Weekend is the 19th and 20th with workshops from 10 to 2 on Friday and Saturday featuring Dr. Tracy Stroop, Dr. Len Branswitz, and Dr. Dennis Courtney. A delicious, healthy lunch will be provided from 11 to 2, and of course, lots of samples, healthy treats, all in honor of Jamie Dorley's birthday. The discounts on your favorite supplements start August 25th. All of this is the World of Wellness, 2419 Baldwick Road, Pittsburgh. That's 2419 Baldwick Road, Pittsburgh.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
Make 380 Auction to Murraysville your next stop for discounts and bargains. Trucks come in every week. 380 Auction has name brand furniture, fall mums, also tools, birdseed, automotive supplies, pet supplies, lawn and garden, toys, food, and new items arriving daily. 380 Auction is open Tuesday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or call 724-339-3132. That's 724-339-3132 or log on to shop380.com and save.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey folks, Marty here. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No interest for 3 years. Restrictions apply. Call 412-543-6003. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This September, show your power. Support the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank during Hunger Action Month by donating, volunteering, or advocating. Every dollar, every hour, every voice. That's the power of you. Visit PittsburghFoodBank.org today.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at KennyRoss.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Hear about it, then talk about it. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, just a couple of minutes before we get to the news. CBS, bottom of the hour, then State Treasurer and gubernatorial candidate on the Republican ticket, Stacey Garrity, for a segment. We're going to talk about the budget impasse. We had Jay Costa here last night talking about SEPTA, what they're doing there. And word today, facing deep service cuts, PRT considers a request to divert capital projects money to plug its budget gap in the midst of a 70-day-old state budget impasse. An opportunity that presented itself on Monday might allow Pittsburgh Regional Transit to avoid a planned 35% service cut and fare increases. Pittsburgh Public Schools also being affected by this budget impasse. So I am going to ask her what she thinks about this stopgap measure when it comes to transit. Obviously very familiar with SEPTA and, of course, what we're dealing with here. But I'm also going to ask her, if elected governor, what can she do to stop this madness so we don't have to have Groundhog Day every single year? Look, maybe it's just me. I don't panic that often, but I'm really starting to get concerned about this budget issue, because what this could do on the heels of the energy summit that we had, Senator McCormick, and the possibility of doing more and another summit, the opportunity for these companies to come in and get the building trades going in Indiana County and in Shippingport, from Homer City to Shippingport, with these data centers, AI, the natural gas, thousands of building trades, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, good paychecks, cash flow going into their bank account, and their cash going into these communities that are much needed of that cash flow. What I'm afraid, if corporate America from around the country and around the world sees that we can't get a budget passed, are they really going to want to be a part of Pennsylvania for future business? And every time I've asked any politician, past or present, Democrat or Republican, who they feel is the reason why this budget isn't passed, well, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. I'm not pointing fingers, because I think, I do support Josh Shapiro and believe that he will be a great Democratic candidate. And, with all intents and purposes, going to remain the governor. But I really like some of the things that Stacey Garrity has been talking about, and that's why I'm paying attention, and that's why I'm bringing her on this radio show tonight. The governor, of course, on KDK all the time, the sound bites, the guest appearances, Big K Morning Show, fantastic stuff. But you got to hear from the other side. But what Stacey Garrity does bring to the table are issues. And she also understands, because of her military background, how really you have to have rules for the road. And you have to have discipline, and you have to do smart maneuvers to get smart things happening in your state, especially when it comes to dollars that you hope make sense. And the only way to build back everything in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is to create more jobs and to bring that generational wealth paycheck back to PA. But if you keep having issues like not being able to get a budget passed because there's no money left, it's scary. But here's the other thing, the caveat, the big reason why I've been promoting transit, and this is one time I'm saying, get it done. Whatever you got to do, get it done. Because you can blame it on the lack of ridership. You can blame it on a number of things, why they aren't making the money or why they need more money every year to go to keep those buses rolling or whatever type of transit we're talking about. But if you really want something to be catastrophic to your community, if you want all bets being called off, if you want the wheels of business coming to a screeching halt, if you want cash flow basically drying up like the Mojave Desert, then go ahead and let transit, whether it's the eastern part of the state or the western part of the state or everywhere in between, go away, and people can't get to their job because, yes, you see, not everybody, as FDR used to say, a car in every driveway or garage and a chicken in every pot. Not everyone has the luxury of owning an automobile. And there are some families, like the family I grew up in many years ago, there was one vehicle, and it made it very difficult to haul 6 kids around and get my dad back and forth to work. It is what it is, what it is. And sometimes we all take for granted what we have, and we expect everybody to have the exact same thing. And there are other people that simply can't drive, don't have a license, but they still have to get to work. And the thought process of the regional transit system not going to certain bus stations after dark, not going to certain locations and bus stops, stopping at a much earlier time. What's going to happen to the tens of thousands of people who work in the healthcare communities, these amazing nurses at AHN, UPMC that work 12-hour shifts, work all hours of the day or night, and they're depending on this transit to get them where they need to be? This is something of urgency, and we need a person with a plan. We need someone who actually has an idea that could rectify the issue. And I'm not saying it's all Democrats or I'm not saying it's all Republicans, but we need a plan here. We need a plan, and we need it to come from the top on down. Look, I hear of all the infighting, and believe me, we've had State Senator Kim Ward on, I've had Jay Costa on, I've had Josh Kale on, I've had former members of the State House, Jim Christiana on, I've had Tom Corbett on, a former governor. I've represented every party, past and present, even a former legislator who's just a fan of this show, who calls in and voices his opinion, former State Rep Nick Kodik. The times, they are a-changing. Things that we used to count on in our society are not coming back. But there are certain things that we can build back. And, today, just as I was getting ready to go on the air, I saw a story in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I thought just when I figured it out, Thousands of people are losing their manufacturing jobs. It's because things aren't getting done. The proper chain of command is not handling business on a day-to-day basis as they should be. I mean, I can understand a week, maybe 2, but 70 days? And we're talking about a budget over $50 billion. Education, and now the Pittsburgh Public Schools, something we're going to talk about, our great resource, educating the future generations that hopefully will stay put so the census numbers don't get even worse. They're struggling because they're fearful what's going to happen with their 2026 budget. I don't know how much more we have to go through in Pennsylvania before somebody says, I got an idea, so I'm going to ask her. I'm going to say, what would you do if elected governor? And I can tell you, she'll handle the question and she'll answer it. And I'm sure Mr. Shapiro would too. But I need to see people of action. And right now, I hear people like Rachel Heisler, the city controller, been saying for the longest time, we need to fix things. We're running out. And I've had Stacey Garrity on too, and she's talked about it. And anybody knows where the money is. The state treasurer obviously does. So enough already with this impasse. Let's get it done and let's get back to business, because the longer this thing is stalling, it's going to stall out the possibility of corporate America saying, you know what? I want to come to Pennsylvania. I want to come to Pittsburgh. I want to come to Philadelphia. I want to come to Harrisburg, because those people in the Keystone State get things done. State Treasurer, gubernatorial candidate Stacey Garrity after CBS Radio News. Next.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start September 17th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Did you miss this week's Allegheny Health Network Medical Frontiers? Log on to the Allegheny Health Network website to listen to your favorite Medical Frontier show. Visit ahn.org/Medical Frontiers podcast and look for your favorite Medical Frontiers show.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, You have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we're here for you. And we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. After a deadly strike by Israel on a compound in Qatar that has left 5 Hamas members dead, President Trump responds.
I will say this, we want the hostages back, but we are not thrilled about the way that went down today.
The president says he will give a full statement tomorrow. In addition to a state murder charge, a man accused of stabbing to death a Ukrainian refugee on a Charlotte, North Carolina commuter train is now facing a federal charge. U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson.
I hope that one day everyone feels safe riding light rail. Right now, I think we need to see changes before people are going to feel safe on light rail.
At the port of Long Beach in California, the Coast Guard says more than 60 shipping containers have fallen off of a cargo ship. CBS's Adam Yamaguchi reports.
The vessel carrying the containers arrived at the port from southern China. It's not yet known what's inside those containers or how they fell off the ship. Now, no injuries have been reported, and authorities are continuing to investigate the cause of this incident.
CBS News Brief, I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
Have a house you're ready to sell? Ryan Shalaba here with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. Over a decade in business and 175 plus 5-star reviews, we've helped people in all different situations get the most money out of their house when they need it. We'll save you time, money, and stress, and we'll even help you move. Call 412-500-9057. We'll get you a cash offer in as little as 24 hours. That's 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com today.
Hello, this is Sarah Botkin, president of Botkin Family Wealth Management. It's been years since my dad Les, brother Lester, and I resigned from a Wall Street brokerage to open our family-owned investment firm. I felt energized about our new venture, but uncertain about our clients' reactions. Would they follow us or stay with a big Wall Street name? We were thrilled when the reaction was one of congratulation, and we've experienced tremendous growth since we opened our doors in 2015. People seek us out because they don't want to be lost in the shuffle of a huge company. Dad and I are certified financial planners, and Lester is a chartered financial analyst. We deliver big resources in a personalized environment where you're important to all of us. Firms turn over all the time. Advisors turn over. We don't. We're headquartered in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. We live here, and we work here in the building that we bought together. It's our family helping your family. Find out more at botkinfamilywealth.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Think back to the last time you were in nature. What comes to mind? Hiking through a lush forest, floating on a lazy river, or perhaps watching a vibrant sunset on a beach full of glistening plastic bottles and food wrappers. Unfortunately, this isn't a joke. Here in the U.S., we generate the most plastic waste in the world, with 70% of it ending up in landfills. And by the time you're done listening to this ad, more than a dump truck's worth of plastic will have made it into the ocean. Plastic has become a useful part of our everyday lives, but it's polluting the air, water, and soil that all life needs to survive. This is a human problem that can be solved with human action. But it's going to take all of us, from individuals to businesses to governments and everyone in between. Help create a cleaner future for both people and nature. Visit wwf.earth/plastics.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
With a mostly clear sky tonight, there will be some areas of fog later on, a low of 49. A lot of sunshine tomorrow after a foggy start for some, a high of 76. Clear tomorrow night, a low of 53. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
What's up, America? It's Rich Valdez. On our next show, we're joined by the host of No Spin News, TV legend Bill O'Reilly. He's going to tell us all about his newest book, Confronting Evil. All of that's coming up with me on the next Rich Valdez. Tonight at 10 p.m. on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
My next guest gaining a lot of popularity in this part of the state because she's a person of action, and I've only been really following and getting up close and personal with her in recent weeks because I want to see people of action in government at that state level running this government. And, of course, we're talking about Josh Shapiro, the incumbent governor, the 70-day impasse with a budget. Listen, it's time to get back to the business of business. So I have Stacey Garrity here, gubernatorial candidate on the Republican ticket, and of course you know her as the state treasurer for Pennsylvania. So last night I was talking to Jay Costa, state senator, of course, from this part of the country, a Democrat, about SEPTA, and I simply said to him, Stacey, does the East get more than we do in the West? And he said, no, I don't think so. But then after SEPTA got a little bit of an opportunity to breathe, we find out today that PRT is considering a request to divert capital projects money to plug its budget gap in the midst of a 70-day-old state budget impasse, an opportunity that presented itself on Monday to allow Pittsburgh Regional Transit to avoid a planned 35% service cut and a fare increase. Bottom line is this madness has to stop. If you are governor, how can you prevent another Groundhog Day this time next year? Good evening.
Hey, Rob. Great to be with you. It's pretty simple. Leaders lead. And in my opinion, Josh Shapiro is not leading on the budget. And he can try to blame the Senate all he wants, but at the end of the day, he's supposed to be the leader of the Commonwealth. And it means coming to the table, rolling up your sleeves, finding consensus, not parading across the country, raising money for a presidential campaign. And, I come from the private sector, as you know.
Right.
And I have to tell you, I had to be on time with my budget. And I frequently had to find efficiencies, so 3 to 5% productivity every single year. And so this is kind of ridiculous. Everybody wants to support SEPTA, but they held up a budget now for 70 days to manufacture a transit crisis that didn't exist. And you know what? Senate Republicans suggested a plan to not only take care of public transit, but also roads and bridges. So taking care of all 67 counties instead of a handful. And so now miraculously, 30 days later, they're going to do the same thing, take it out of the Public Transportation Trust Fund, which is what Republicans said. But now, you know what? There doesn't have to be transparency. They don't have to open up the books. And why is that? That's what I wonder.
Listen, obviously a big mountain to climb. Pennsylvania needs people to stay. Every census, they seem to be moving out in droves to find jobs elsewhere. We've got situations with assessment issues right here in western Pennsylvania, in Allegheny County, all of this stuff. And, people are worried about transit to get people to a football game, which I get and I respect that. But I'm talking about people on the front line, the people who work in healthcare, people who have to pay bills, get groceries, go to the bank, don't have the ability to have a car to do such things that we all take for granted. And also, if people can't get to work, do they understand you're only going to add insult to injury when it comes to your cash flow situation? This is a very scary situation we're in the midst of right now, Stacey.
No, I totally agree. And you know what? I think some of the issue is, I think it was back in 2009, the state Supreme Court ruled that we had to keep paying the salaries, even during a budget impasse, of state workers. Well, to me, if there's no budget, then they shouldn't be getting their paychecks, just like, everybody else isn't getting their money. And then guess what? I guarantee you, Rob, that everybody would come to the table, negotiate, compromise, figure it out. And because do you think these legislators would go 70 days without a paycheck? I doubt it.
Here's the other thing I just brought up moments ago, kind of leading into your interview. I'm all in on manufacturing, and we've got these these AI centers, one in Homer City, Indiana County, one in my neck of the woods, the old Bruce Mansfield coal-fired plant at Shippingport. What worries me, if I'm corporate America, and I see that you can't get a budget passed and it's 70 days and it's still on hold, do I want to invest my money and invest big money into your region when you can't even take care of your own money? I got to believe the big picture, the longer this thing goes on, we're going to be losing opportunities to create a better tax base and to give those generational wealth type of paychecks. There's so many moving parts here. I don't think people are looking at the big picture. They're just kind of counting the days and saying, oh, well, we'll get to it tomorrow.
Rob, I totally agree. I met with some industry leaders actually today. I'm in Harrisburg. And, you know, a lot of our natural gas is going to neighboring states to support their economic development projects instead of us, you know, using it to create jobs and projects here. And that is because a lot of, you know, energy folks don't want to invest in Pennsylvania because we have all these ridiculous regulations like RGGI, Presser, Pacer. And so, you know, it creates uncertainty, and people don't want to invest their capital when there's a lot of uncertainty. So we are behind years. We are losing jobs to neighboring states. And we all know with our aging population, we need jobs. We need to unleash an energy plan because that's going to create billions of dollars of opportunity, you know, for our communities, which we desperately need.
Listen, I'm right with you. And coming off the heels of that energy summit with Senator McCormick and so many others, it just worries me we're going to miss an opportunity. Is it fair to say, Stacey Garrity, and you know a lot about money and how it's spent or not spent, if we don't make this opportunity with this natural gas and energy and AI and all the things we've been talking about happen now, the great deal that finally got done between Nippon and U.S. Steel, we're never going to have a window of opportunity like this again. Everything we do in the next few years will really count for the next 50 to 100 years in Pennsylvania. Is that a fair statement?
Rob, I agree 100%. And unfortunately, you know who's going to fill that gap is going to be Ohio and West Virginia. They're going to go ahead and they're going to fill that gap, unfortunately. And like I said, our natural gas is going to neighboring states. And so we're sending more out than we're keeping, which is ridiculous because those opportunities should be occurring right now. The year we just ended, which, you know, our books closed on June 30th. So we spent $3 billion more than what we brought in. We can't sustain it. If we keep up at that rate, next year will be $6 billion. We're out of our surplus plus our rainy day fund in 2 years. And you know what that means? Because you know the General Assembly on both sides of the aisle, they're never going to cut a program. They're never going to reduce spending. So what does that mean? Tax increases. Pennsylvania already has the largest tax or fifth highest tax burden in the nation, and Pennsylvanians can't afford a tax increase. They just can't.
In closing, Stacey Garrity, gubernatorial candidate, Republican ticket, and the state treasurer for Pennsylvania, what would you like to see happen if you are elected governor? What would you go out in court? What businesses do you think, not a quick fix, because it's going to take a long time. It didn't happen overnight digging into this hole in our nation and in the Commonwealth. But what do you see really the future as far as manufacturing and those, as I like to say, generational wealth type of paychecks that actually take that working class and bring a middle class back to Pennsylvania? What do you think about the future, Stacey?
Absolutely. So we need to cut red tape. We need to reduce regulations. I can't believe the number of regulations we have in this state. And I've been saying this for years and years and years, way back in the private sector. And, you know, of all the natural gas in the United States, we have 25% right here in Pennsylvania. We need to unleash it. It's liquid gold under our feet. It would create tens of thousands of jobs, allow our young adults to stay in Pennsylvania, and create billions of dollars in economic opportunity for our communities, and that would give us a little bit of financial breathing room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we don't have to be mediocre, Rob. And we've been mediocre for decades, and I think people just take it for granted. But we could be leading the nation in so many metrics. And that's my vision. It's just a totally different vision from where we are right now.
Listen, let me dovetail off of that with one more thing and get your thoughts, and we'll say goodnight. Stacey Garrity, State Treasurer, gubernatorial candidate, Republican ticket. Well, you know, a lot of people tell me that are in the business of building, entrepreneurs, corporations, they can't get building permits. Permits take forever and stalls out project after project after project. I mean, I think if somebody's got the resume and they've got the credit and they want to build, you should do everything you can to speed up getting them the permits that they need to start pounding nails. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree. I complained about it in the private sector for years. It's become so bureaucratic. And, of course, now we're trying to tout that we've done all these things to reduce permitting. I was at Ag Progress Days a few weeks ago, and farmers were complaining that it takes 3 years just to get a permit to build a barn. I mean, all the small businesses, I mean, it's just killing them. And it's ridiculous. We have way too many regulations, and we need to make sure that people know Pennsylvania is open for business, and DEP I call don't expect a permit, and we really have to change that agency.
Stacey, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Thanks, Rob.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Stacey Garrity, treasurer. See, I'm telling you, I like people of action. And you got to get going in Pennsylvania. You can't be waiting to actually want to invest in a community. That's nonsense. All right, short break. Phone calls up until 10 o'clock next on KDKA with your Pratt Pack.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
At Tax Relief Advocates, we get it. Thinking about back taxes to the IRS can be very unsettling. Don't lose hope. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, TRA is resolving taxpayers' delinquent tax problems nationwide once and for all. We could significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe the IRS. If you haven't filed your taxes in years or are already facing collections, we can help. We aren't just some run-of-the-mill tax service company. We specialize in helping individuals and businesses with $10,000, $50,000, or even $500,000 in back taxes get speedy resolution. And in many cases, only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. The IRS isn't going anywhere, and neither is your tax problem. To see what tax